Have you guys, off the top of your head, have you guys found a trade anywhere in sports since, I don't know, LeBron, Wade, and Bosch coming here that ends up echoing to create the conversation that the Scooble trade does, where everyone's just like, that's not fair, where the reaction from everybody is a trade happens in sports and the consensus is that doesn't feel right. That's not something that should be allowed. Can something be done?
I think there were hints of that with Jaylen Brown, but we were too busy laughing. And a little bit with Luka too, especially when you consider the reasoning that Dallas gave, which was, wanting to be able to depend on Luka's fitness and then acquiring Anthony Davis.
Oh, but you're doing this the other way, though. The way that I'm doing this is not that Detroit didn't get enough. It's that the Dodgers have too much, that the Dodgers shouldn't be allowed to be the one that acquired, that any other team, there wouldn't have been this reaction. There's only one team you can trade him to where you get a sport cratering kind of reaction where everyone's like, that's not right. You shouldn't be allowed to do that.
Durant in free agency, when he went to the Warriors and they had already been to the back-to-back finals, like being in that spot.
Yeah, but specific to trade, I do think that a big part of this, and look, I'm not going to pretend to know the depths of LA's farm system, but a big part of this is like, that got you Scooble?
Oh, but no, the baseball people are saying that that is a good offer and that somebody could have beaten that offer and nobody did. I'm just, I didn't think that baseball could do one of these. I didn't think that baseball could have a transaction, and I can't even come up with a hypothetical other than this guy to this team that makes me feel the way that I feel today, which is that everyone is now saying that's simply unfair. It's not even an analysis of the trade. It's just that shouldn't be allowed to happen.
Well, what's hanging over all of this is the MLB's taking out attack ads and preparing for a labor stoppage, and this is awfully convenient, and it further galvanizes MLB fans everywhere. And a huge part of that attack ad is like, man, isn't it unfair what the Dodgers are doing? And then to give that team the prize of the deadline, the hot stove season, it feels unfair, and it's awfully convenient for Major League Baseball.
It feels like the Dodgers were Joe Pesci and Goodfellas, where they're like, hey, you want to trade for Tarek Skubal? And they're like, yeah, where is he? He's in this room over here. And then everybody walks in, it's just them, and they're like, wait a second. All of a sudden it goes black. Like, did any other team, I'm not plugged in on baseball, but did any other team have a chance to get him?
Yes, there were other teams that had a chance, and I think the Tigers have a responsibility to take a lesser offer there and not do that to their sport. Like, I legitimately think that they have to take the second place offer just so that everyone's not looking at them and saying, you assholes, you broke the entire sport.
Well, that's also a different type of collusion, right? But I think the biggest issue here is that they think that the owners and the Tigers were a part of it. Send them to L.A. because it helps our bottom line.
The one trade that I was thinking of in basketball was when basketball stepped in and didn't allow Chris Paul to be traded to the Lakers.
Right. Marcus Gasol was in that trade.
David Stern's dead body.
That's right.
Was that going to happen?
That's what it made me think of. Like, man, it made me think that Bud Selig should come back from the grave, even though he's still alive, and say, you can't allow this, Manfred.
Fantasy team from falling off the track. Football is back, Jack. Whether on the ground or through the air, when the chips are down and you throw a prayer, when your team is primed and on the hunt, it's 4th and 10, you refuse to punt. When the shoulder pads and helmets crack, that's how you know that football is back, Jack. Let me hear you say, football is back, Jack. This high is wild and out of control, and we're gonna ride it every week till we reach the Super Bowl. Don't need no check down.
I'm largely alone, correct? Not just because Zaz is on a cruise and this room is awfully spacious with no one else in it, but I am awfully alone on the idea that baseball on the radio is the best. All of you have outgrown baseball on the radio, correct? You guys, young people have no use for baseball on the radio.
Strong disagree. Also, hey.
Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. I don't think anybody was worried about where you were, Jeremy.
Thank
I
you.
don't think we need a big heroic welcome
How do you
back.
feel about this Zaslow for Jeremy trade?
At Le Batard Show, put it on the poll. Do young people have any use for baseball on the radio? But I love the ambient sound. It's one of the things that I love. So Chris Cody is maintaining that Yordan Alvarez of the Astros, who every time that man bats, I expect a double off the wall. Like just every single time he's up, I expect something scorched that the outfielders think they can get to that they can't get to because it's been hit too hard. Chris Cody is claiming that this is a perfect home run sound. Listen to the ball come off the bat of Yordan Alvarez at 743 miles an hour.
Yordan Alvarez crushes one high and deep. Forget about it. 44 just matches the first pitch he sees tonight for his 35th home run of the year. And the Astros out in front 1-0.
I've changed it to my text alert. That's what I hear now when a text, I receive a text.
I did not need any of the words. I knew what that was as soon as it hit the bat.
Yordan Alvarez.
That's called un palo.
The acoustics.
Forget about it.
So
44 just
I want to talk about the Marlins today because the Marlins have a trade deadline, and I don't think they're going to trade Sandy. I hope they don't trade Sandy.
They won't.
But I want to play another sound from you guys without any help from the announcers. You guys tell me what you think happened on this play with this sound. Any guesses on what, and Roy will play it again, but any guesses and take your best guess on what you think happened here.
Slow build here.
Someone get hit
Yes.
in the balls.
I don't want to admit where my mind went. I'm like, someone fell from the upper deck.
What?
I mean, that's like a oh!
I think it would be a more sustained.
Only some people saw it.
What? No one fell from the upper deck, but that sound, played again, Roy, is a foul ball being hit straight up in the air and a spectator getting hit on the top of the noggin. And it bounced so high, it wasn't even that they noticed it hit him on the top of the head. The way that it bounced is that everyone reacted because the ball flew up just as high as where it had come from. And they're like, that must hurt to have a ball fall out of the sky. It's just a pop-up, but it hit someone square on the head who was eating like a sundae out of one of those, helmets, out of one of those small plastic helmets. And it just hit him on top of the head and it bounced. It was two pop-ups. The one that landed on his head and the second one that popped up off of his head.
Chichong City right there.
Tremendo Chichong. The trade deadline is today, and it doesn't feel quite like the basketball and the football trade deadline, but I do think the one thing that happened in baseball is the single thing that could have happened to make everyone in the sport on a weekend when the Dodgers get it swept at home by the Red Sox. They get swept at home. They trade for Skubal, and I believe it's just to keep Skubal from pitching against them 3 times in 7 games in the postseason. I don't think they don't need him. They've already got Tampa's best pitcher. They stole San Diego's best pitcher. They got 2 of the best players in the history of Japan pitching for them, the history of a country pitching for them. They don't need Skubal in any meaningful way. They've also got Boston's best player. They've also got Atlanta's best player. So they're just going around the league and grabbing all the best players. But I'm put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Skubal, Did the Dodgers get him to use him, or did the Dodgers get him to just make sure he doesn't pitch against them? Pitch against Freeman and Shohei Ohtani as a left-hander 3 times in a 7-game series.
2 of the best players in the history of Japan and Yamamoto.
That's right. 2 of the best a position player and a pitcher and Yamamoto as well. I can't remember a reaction like this to a trade. The Yankees dominated salary for a long time without sort of guaranteeing themselves an unfairness. The Dodgers are, by run differential, they were until losing this series to Boston. I don't know if it's changed or if Milwaukee has passed them. But the Dodgers somehow are underachieving, even though they've had the best record in baseball most of the season, and they've had the best run differential most of the season. How did you guys react to the reaction to this trade? Because I thought it was more interesting than the actual trade. I don't think you can let the Dodgers get him if you're a team in Major League Baseball. If you're the Detroit Tigers, I don't think you can allow the Dodgers to get that pitcher.
It fans the flames of all of the conspiracies when you look at him ending up with the Dodgers, because you have all of these people who are like, MLB wants the Dodgers to win another one. MLB wants this because they want to enforce a salary cap. They want to convince fans. All the people I was with when this trade happened were like, oh, that's it. It's over. The Dodgers won again. They need a salary cap. That's enough of it, until I started explaining some of the logistics of the players' side. But this is one of those things with that particular player who's about as famous as any baseball player not named Shohei Ohtani because of his dominance, ending up with that particular team that feels more like the evil empire than even the Yankees of the late 90s and early 2000s, where everyone's shaking their head and going, what are we supposed to do?
I get the all-star roster. They were one swing of a bat away from losing the World Series last year. Like, if Miguel Rojas, of all people, doesn't hit a monster home run at a super clutch time, they lose, and we're not really having this conversation, are we?
The entire conversation to me is crazy for a number of reasons, and I'm going to repeat what it is I just said. They saw Tampa's ace and best pitcher, and they took him. They saw San Diego's ace Cy Young winner pitcher and took him. They saw Atlanta's best player and took him. They saw Boston's best player and took him. And now they take Detroit's best player, and a lot of people are throwing this stat around. The Dodgers' 6 highest-paid pitchers would be the 18th highest payroll in baseball. And their general manager, Andrew Friedman, who's coming under a lot of criticism for winning too much and being greedy and doing his job, quote, whenever there's a star-level player that is available that can really shift championship odds, those are the moments that will be more aggressive. When asked about the narrative the Dodgers are ruining baseball, passionately disagree, Friedman said. And while I'm at it, they took the Cubs, one of the Cubs' best players as well. Like, they're wandering around baseball. We have it here locally, right? And I don't mind it so much locally when the Miami Hurricanes can go and just see Duke win the ACC and say, okay, I'd like your wide receiver and your quarterback. They can come over here. Don't mind it so much when it's my team. So Los Angeles loves this. Like, they're crazy about the Dodgers. This is great in terms of what it is that what can be an apathetic sports town feels about baseball has been altered by the fact that the Dodgers are now the new empire. They are the new Yankees. The Yankees have to settle for taking Washington's best slugger, Luis Garcia. They don't even need him like that. Well, they need offense because their guys are all hurt. But they need a shortstop. They don't need the positions that Luis Garcia plays. But there's just funny stuff that's going to happen at the trade deadline, and one of them is that the Dodgers are ruining the sport. But we'll get back to that. I want to talk about the Marlins for a second. What do you guys believe as a customer, as a fan base? If I say to you, you have all of sports at your disposal, what's the thing most likely to frustrate you as a fan on the field? Like, what position on the field, any sport, what position on the field, what situation on the field?
Free throws? God, man, we love saying make your damn free throws.
Oh, my God, you guys are going to get frustrated with Giannis.
Missing a PK in soccer.
You all right?
God. Leadoff walks.
That's because I saw you shoveling sausages by the cup into your mouth, and that's the reason that happened. Like, I saw you couldn't eat it before the show. You were eating them during the show. You were distracting me because you were eating sausages, and I just heard them in your throat.
I had a panic during our show open. I was like, I didn't have any sausages yet, so I scurried. I wish the camera could have caught me scurrying.
That's where you went?
I have like 45 seconds. I went and I got one. I actually zapped it in the microwave because no one wants a room temperature sausage.
Video team, can you please get the surveillance video of Chris Cody running to get his sausage that made his first words look like there was an obstacle in his esophagus that was a sausage that was not properly chewed? That's a good one. Free throws is a good one. I've got a nominee here locally, and I felt it yesterday, but any other nominees from you guys on the position most likely to be hated by the entirety of a fan base or frustrated by a fan base? Because in our town, you guys like to point out Kyle Lowry, but before there was Kyle Lowry, there was Antoine Walker. And then everybody shut up after he won a championship. But everybody was wildly frustrated with Antoine Walker just shooting 3 after 3 after 3 because by his own explanation, there are no 4s.
A kicker who misses extra points.
Yeah, kicker's up there in most hated positions.
My nomination after second place, I'd put the cornerback who's always getting burned, but I think they've changed football enough that is harder to. The cornerback who's always getting burned doesn't play anymore. They've sort of eliminated.
They're extinct.
They've just sort of. There's no such thing. There's no such thing as Terrell Buckley and JB Brown anymore. Who they just get JB Brown. But I think that the survival of the fittest sort of evolution of football has made it so they don't. Fan bases no longer have the one cornerback who's always getting burned because he just becomes extinct. It's the closer who blows leads, and it's Pete Fairbanks. The Marlins have a closer. He's the most frustrating kind of closer in that he throws 147 miles an hour, but you don't always know if it's going to be in the strike zone. And so he starts walking people, and his stuff is totally filthy. And when I say filthy, it's because it's always in the dirt. Like, it's just when he gets wild, you can't trust him. And while he's pitching better, I don't trust him, like, at all. I'm watching that game yesterday, and I'm expecting the Marlins to lose to the Mets. So the Marlins have been weird this season, okay? If not for that 12-game losing streak, that is the worst in franchise history, and it's a funny way to start a sentence.
It's like an Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah. Abraham would have enjoyed the play if not for the gunshot. If not for that 12-game win streak, the Miami Marlins, after beating the Phillies up, after beating the Mets up, before the 12-game win streak, making the Nationals realize, even though they have the best offense in baseball. Did you guys even know that? Are they still leading the sport in home runs? Put on the poll at Le Batard Show. Did you know that the Nationals had the best offense in baseball? But after clubbing an assortment of teams, I thought that is a team that can compete for the playoffs all season. Then they lose 12 in a row, and I'm like, as soon as I said that, it's all over. Then they win 6 of 7, and what they've done is the most impressive thing they can do with the lowest payroll in baseball, which is they're interesting. They're an interesting team that is interesting at the trade deadline. And I don't know what they're going to do at the trade deadline because it wouldn't appear that they're going to trade Sandy. Sandy has fixed his problems. Sandy last he pitched against the Mets, didn't allow a run for 7 innings, and he's been the guy who goes out there even during the 12-game losing streak and shuts the opponent down. Jeremy, what is the word around the Marlins on what it is that they're going to do? And do the Marlins feel about Pete Fairbanks the way I feel about Pete Fairbanks, which is they have to keep him out there because he's one of the few guys they're paying to do that role. And so they're going to keep using him as a closer, even though he hasn't been trustable the first half of the season. They're just going to keep putting him out there.
Yeah, last year they didn't use a closer at all. They sort of slotted guys by where they felt they best matched up with the lineups in high leverage innings. He's the one guy that they have where they're like, that's a closer. And luckily for them, he's 4 for his last 4. He's got 5 straight scoreless innings, which has felt like a miracle this season. He lowered his ERA from 7.18 to 6.37 over the course of those appearances. I don't think they feel that way right now because it's been going well, but throughout the season, it's been incredibly frustrating to have these leads and blow them with the guy who's making more than Sandy Alcantara is. And their starting pitching's been so great that when your relievers blow it, it can be infuriating when your team that's playing in the margins. When you come to the trade deadline, the Marlins sort of mentality is always, even when you're having short-term success, it's long-term thinking. Their whole mantra is about building a sustainable winner year after year, sort of like your Rays. And so they're always going to be in a position, whether they're 15 games under, 15 games over, or right near 500, buyers and sellers. The names that are out there right now, all of a sudden yesterday, there was smoke around Kyle Stowers, which would be surprising to me if they traded Kyle, if it wasn't for a massive haul. Liam Hicks is a guy that seems like the odd man out. Rule 5 pick last year, who they've turned into a really good player. He's a catcher, which is a position of need across Major League Baseball right now, particularly in the AL East. The Yankees, the Rays, the Red Sox all need a catcher. He's a left-handed hitter. He would do great at Yankee Stadium.
The Marlins don't need a catcher.
They don't need him. Joe Mack is the future,
They found
man.
a catcher. Yes, that's been a surprise. Hits a home run yesterday, straight away center field. I didn't think that he had that kind of offense in him, but they'd be selling high on Hicks.
That's the thought process if they sold, and that's always going to be where they are, is have we reached a space of maximum value on this player, whether it's the best they're going to be skill-wise or contract-wise. If you look at Stowers, the reason theoretically he would be moved is he's now headed toward these arbitration years. So while he's under team control, that salary will increase. And do you want to go toward an extension? And we're looking at a space where every team is operating. It relates back to the Skubal stuff. Every team is operating unsure if next year is a year that even exists in Major League Baseball and these players are going to age. So that's a strange part of this entire deadline around the league.
Baseball is funny this way, and they are wise to trade pieces that they have that are valuable when they're selling high because somebody's a Rule 5 pick and they're about at their ceiling. They did this with Cabrera. The Cubs traded for him after he had a good season. Have one good season here that's an outlier and get rid of him. But I want to talk about the Fairbanks thing for a second. I told you guys the other day that Dave Dombrowski, a Hall of Fame executive, is the oldest executive in Major League Baseball at 70. When he got the young Marlins, one of the things that he did in 1993 is he said, and my closer's going to be Brian Harvey, one of the best closers in all of baseball.
Great
because
mustache.
I don't want a young team to suffer from having been close to winning games and then having it blown at the end and just sort of living with going home from the park all the time, losing games late.
Dombrowski is the old executive now? That's crazy.
He
was the hotshot young guy.
Yeah, 70 years old, and he is the oldest executive in baseball. They tried something with Brian Harvey, and it makes me wonder what the Marlins did this year when they've got the coupon clippers from Tampa running their front office, and they're saying to themselves, the one guy we're going to pay is Fairbanks. The Marlins did this with Heath Bell, where they had a fragile thing that they thought was foundationally almost good enough to win big, and they needed to protect games late. And Heath Bell is among the most unpopular players in the history of this city because he kept coughing up leads in the season where they opened up the ballpark. Are you guys surprised to hear me say to you that Pete Fairbanks, that they decided before the season that they were going to be better than I thought they were going to be because they decided that they had to pay a closer to protect games late in the season, and only a closer because they're not paying anybody else except for Fairbanks and Sandy.
I am surprised that they paid anybody anything. And look, guys, I understand it's Marlins. They're interesting, especially locally, because will they or won't they? But I mean, are you not licking your finger and testing the air right now? Like, the winds are blowing, and fan conspiracy theories are that Major League Baseball orchestrated the trade of the best arm available to the single best team, the single most hated team, a team that has all these weird deferred contracts, and additionally doesn't actually have to pay revenue taxes the way that they should because Major League Baseball cut them a side deal when their TV deal went dry. This to me seems like it's all too convenient for Major League Baseball, and it slots right in with all the momentum for the argument that they're laying out for work stoppage, and it's just perfect. And you said it didn't matter if they won the World Series, if it goes the other. Yes, it would. They're always in that conversation. If Toronto wins, that people would be just as mad.
I am just as interested in that as you are. I am saving it for 15 minutes and 26 seconds from now because I'm talking locally now about what the Marlins are going to do at the trade deadline, because you're going to be grateful for it when it segues into University of Miami football, and there's room for that in the local hour, and there won't be any room for it later in the show. So I'm going to get to Scooble and all the things with that
because
story.
I'm mad. Yeah. I'm mad. I'm mad on behalf of you and Jeremy, guys that actually listen to this sport on the radio, that love it that much, because it seems as though MLB got their hands dirty and they pulled off a heist, and everyone knows it.
No, what happens here with conspiracy theories is that the people who know the least know it when it's not actually so. This is not a conspiring from baseball.
Are you accusing me of not knowing much about baseball? Because if so, play on.
I'm with what you said before. They need to conspire against the Dodgers. Conspire in the other direction.
Mm-hmm. And this, by the way, shows me to yes and on Fairbanks.
I do think, Chris, that Manfred should step in the way that Stern did on Chris Paul to the Lakers and simply say, no, I'm going to concoct an assortment of reasons that this can't be so, that you're not just simply allowed to get Scooble. I'm telling you, the Dodgers would trade for him if they could just put him in a box and not play him at all season,
Yeah,
just
you're
so they
absolutely
don't have to see him during the playoffs.
Yeah,
Freeman and Ohtani do not want to be facing that person
Yes.
3 times. They scanned baseball. The Dodgers scanned baseball, and they're like, who can somebody else get that we're going to face somewhere else in the playoffs who takes out all of our advantages, and this is the guy. And so they can overpay for him with prospects, and people are saying, people who know more than me are absolutely saying that the Dodgers offer looks and sounds like the best of offers, that just because people don't know the Dodgers farm system don't mean that a rental of Scooble for a couple of months didn't just bring the Detroit Tigers the kind of haul that they wanted, and that made Scooble cry because he was so emotional about how hard the last 12 months have been.
So Detroit just gets off easy with like, sorry, they just gave us the best offer. We're going to do this, I guess.
Yeah, when they're a part of this whole thing.
That's my point.
They wanted to send him to LA because they want the cap too.
Exactly right.
I don't know that that's the case. I think
What?
that you're looking at
What if you're a Tiger fan? You're like, give me a cap right away. I just lost my best player. If you're a Tiger fan, you're up in arms.
it's the way that this sport works, where you have great players that end up with major market teams all the time. And Tarek Skubal's a guy that they love. They just gave him a standing ovation for his 1,000th career strikeout. He cried on the way out. He didn't want to leave. But Scott Boras is his agent. You have a guy who had a minimally invasive, but an elbow surgery earlier in the year. So teams are looking at a guy that they're trading for as a rental. The biggest issue is that Skubal's going into a free agent year here, and they're looking at the Dodgers as a team that's willing to just pay as much as it takes to get him in the offseason. Why acquire him for your AAA level prospects when you're just going to have him as a rental and he could potentially
No,
get
but
hurt?
they gave up 2 of their top 10 prospects.
They did. The other teams wouldn't.
Even if their roster or their minor leagues aren't quite as good as some of the other teams, they gave up 2 of their top 10 prospects for a 2-month rental. Chris is up in arms back there. Can you look up for me, please? Up in arms. Up in arms is weapons, right? It's weapons in the but are they?
Oh, those kind of arms.
But is it up in arms? Like, so what does that mean? So you are enraged and you are fighting with extra weapons? That's why we're up in arms? Like we're bolstering
Can't look it up. I'm up in arms.
Yeah, I understand. It's hard for you to type when you are up in arms. Put it on the poll as well, Juju, at Le Batard Show. Is it hard to type when you're up in arms?
I wanted to go weapons, but I think it's when people are visibly upset, they throw their arms up in the air. That's what I think.
More difficult than I expected. I'm already getting tired.
The sausages haven't kept you in prime shape? I hope that video can find for us the surveillance cam of you running and getting sausages because you forgot to have breakfast. Can we check in, though, with Skip Schumacher real quick? Because I missed the day of the funny ejection. They've been diluted by instant replay. I think it's the greatest thing that instant replay has taken away from us. Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Has instant replay diluted the joy of seeing a manager ejected?
So funny enough, the replay and all the new stuff in baseball, they didn't have any challenges. So there was a strike 3 call. They couldn't challenge. And then this happened, Dan.
Called third strike. Rangers don't have a challenge remaining. That's the end of the inning. Right before God Bless America.
God bless America.
After God Bless America, they went back at it, and Schumacher gets tossed here after coming back out of the dugout. Tishner didn't want to hear about it anymore. And then Skip would get tossed right here.
All right. I want to play all of this again. And
We had to stop, Dan. We had to stop.
Just see if I have this right for the audio audience. I think what I just saw is that Skip Schumacher comes out with no challenges because that's stupid. The idea that you can get run out of challenges is just a stupidity, all of it. We're just not in the place we need to be yet with instant replay. But do I have it right that he runs out, he's furious, and then he's grateful to live in America, and so while enraged, he takes off his cap and puts it over his heart. And the man,
begrudgingly,
but the man he was arguing with, him and the ump, both look at the flag, not enraged. They are now stoic and peaceful and fine, and then they go back to arguing afterward. Let me see that. Let me see that again, please.
Called third strike. Rangers don't have a challenge remaining. That's the end of the inning. Right before God Bless America.
God bless America.
After God Bless America, they went back at it, and Schumacher gets tossed here after coming back out of the dugout. Tishner didn't want to hear about it anymore. And then Skip would get tossed right here.
That's awesome. Lost art form arguing with an umpire. It's an endangered species, not the anthem baseball sound I thought we'd be playing.
Well, let's play that as well, and I want to find out from the audience which they think is funnier. The one that we just played, which is God Bless America, which is not an anthem. The anthem's before the game. God Bless
Speak
America
for yourself.
is part of the 7th inning stretch, I think, which is unusual.
Keep those arms up like Moses in Exodus 17.
This national anthem needs some setup here because there's some things to look out for as you're watching this. As they're announcing,
arms up. That's how we beat Amalek.
As they're announcing this woman,
Joshua advances with your arms up. We lose bodies every time you put your arms down.
She's the only one that gets announced here. It's not like because you're going to hear 3 people singing. There's a lady singing, and then there's 2 women behind her that start singing. Only one is announced, the lady in the front. So and then
arms up, we're getting slaughtered out there.
Take note here of when the 2 ladies start singing, the first lady acts annoyed that they're here. Almost like, why are you 2 singing during my national anthem?
Was she surprised by it?
I'm just saying, watch the video because the way she looks at them makes it seem like she's annoyed that other people are coming in on her national anthem.
Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. And the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
His arms are getting tired. Aaron and her, help him.
I want all of our arms up here for the last 5 minutes of this segment. I want to see if you guys get as tired as Chris Cody is. I am with Chris Cody. He is correct when he says that black woman was pissed that those other women were singing. She should be pissed because they couldn't sing. And I've never heard, and the Rockets' red glare said with that much rage behind it. Like she was staring at them. You think I'm kidding, Roy? Roy, I am going to play that again for the audience just so the people watching on video can see this woman when she gets to, and the Rockets' red glare. You tell me if her glare's not stronger than the Rockets' red glare because of how pissed she is.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars.
Need the punchline. Need the rest of it. Did I miss the Rockets' red glare?
The perilous fight, or the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. And the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in
Am I wrong? Roy, am I wrong?
She's pissed.
I mean, yes, she is enraged, clearly enraged. Which one's better? At Le Batard Show, put it on the poll. Which one's funnier? Funnier anthem, pissed off Rockets' red glare lady, or Skip Schumacher? I'm willing to get rid of instant replay and have human error pollute baseball in exchange for getting back managers running on the field and getting ejected in hysterical fashion. Are you guys not? Yeah, you can't press your microphones with your arms up. That makes it a little more difficult for me to do the show with conversations with all of you.
I got mine out with my elbow.
Maybe we just all leave them on now. We'll just all be on hot mic the entire time.
I kept it up though.
If you're Moses, you feel like a dick. I'm sorry, but we're gonna let a good 25 people go.
No, they only had like 100.
Joshua's got it.
Chris Cody is not wrong that this is hard to do for 25 minutes. He is not.
Imagine
incorrect.
holding a staff and lives are literally in your hands. That's what Moses had to deal with.
Put it up on the poll at Le Batard Show. What is the over-under on how long you think that you can hold your arms over your head? I'm going to say over-under 8 minutes. Over-under on the poll. Can you hold your arms up in the air in 8 minutes and put it over or under on the poll?
Moses did it for the entire day.
He did?
24 hours.
No, he did not.
Yes, he did, Dan.
No, it's not possible. I don't.
They had him hold his arms up. Aaron and her. Did you not listen? They held his arms up.
Also put on the poll at Le Batard Show, do you think it's possible to hold your arms over your head for 24 straight hours? Because having just done it for 3 minutes, I'm here to tell you that nobody can do that for 24 straight hours, that your arms will absolutely get fatigued. And it's not, I noticed all of you have now put your arms down sooner.
Well, because I wanted to look up this Indian dude that kept his arms up since 1973.
Oh, yeah,
and
I
it just
heard about
got,
that guy.
and it just got
It's
stuck.
just one arm, right?
Yeah, but it was like, got emaciated.
You're looking this up because
I'm
you
trying to
know
be
this?
helpful. Yes,
But
Sam.
you know that.
I don't have anything for you on Fairbanks, but I got something on Mar Barati.
My back's starting to hurt.
And come on, I reference Amalek. I'm trying my hardest here.
Why am I holding a bat?
But you guys are all with me on the idea that your arms did get pretty tired pretty fast.
Of course.
Correct?
Instantly.
But then I think most people would be surprised by that. I think most people listening to this would be surprised by the idea that after 3 or 4 minutes, your arms are going to get really tired. Your shoulders are going to get tired being up.
Per Jeff Passan, the Toronto Blue Jays are acquiring right-hander Jose Soriano in a trade with the Los Angeles Angels. That's after trading away Kevin Gausman.
So because I listen to so much baseball on the radio, I will surprise you guys when I tell you that Kevin Gausman for the Blue Jays has been a better pitcher than Roger Clemens and David Wells. Like, he's been one of the best Blue Jay pitchers ever, even though he hasn't been any good this year. I'm going to say it again. Gausman in terms of value, according to the metrics, better than David Wells and Roger Clemens, less good than Dave Stieb and Jimmy Key in franchise history. But here's why the Cubs traded for him, and I'm not making this up. I'm watching a Cubs-Cardinal game the other day, a rarity for me because it's usually on the radio. I'm watching a Cubs-Cardinals game, and they're talking about Colin Ray because the Cubs have had 14 players go on the injured list, and they're really hurt. And I got the best description I've gotten of a player from a broadcaster who's not that good since Eric Reed one time got caught up in the air on a loose ball and said the following. And Samaki Walker is a contributor. This is what the announcer said when the color guy was asked, hey, Colin Ray, what can you tell me about him? He starts with, he's a guy, and then it was a long pause. A long pause, so all I've got is he's a guy, and then he finishes it with who goes out there every 5 days.
A contributor! Me, it's skewed to a younger audience, but he's a master when it comes to engagement, and it's also like he doesn't have the chops. Like he puts himself out there, things that can embarrass him. I think the production when he goes on tours, it's some of the great organic content that's out there. Really genuine, funny moments that come from improvisational skills. His team around him is incredible with the content. Don't.
Yeah, I did.
No, I think when he goes on tour,
I shooed you.
He gets like Michael Jackson level reaction.
Really? He gets Michael Jackson level reaction?
Yes, he
Michael
does.
Jackson.
Yes.
The king of pop.
Yes, he does.
Michael Jackson.
Yeah, Michael Jackson.
There's Michael Jackson, and there's I Show
Yeah.
Speed. Similar response. Similar crowd reaction.
You don't know ball.
Michael Jackson, I Show Speed. Okay.
You sound like an embarrassing person. You sound old as shit. Kenny Lofton played for Lute Olson's Arizona Wildcats. He was really good. Number 26, Patrick Mahomes. The bloodline. He is the most talented quarterback we've ever seen, and if he wanted to play pro baseball, it's in his genes. I bet you he could. Number 25, I'm an ally, Ronda Rousey. She also did some MMA. Number 24, Mickey McCarty. Was drafted by 3 professional sports leagues.
Did you just make Mahomes high on this list because his dad was a baseball player?
Yeah, well, I'm sure he could have and been really good at it. Number 23.
So you put that ahead of Kyler Murray, who actually got a great deal of money for playing baseball. You don't even know if Mahomes played baseball.
Number 23, Anthony Kaladiu.
Oh, stop.
I mean, I'm selling you short, pal. As you know, tried out for the Miami Heat. Tried out for how good do you have to be considered to play college quarterback without being able to throw a football? You had to throw an imaginary one.
I'm so bothered by Jimmy Graham being ahead of Tony Gonzalez.
Come on, Dan.
I've got a number of different questions, okay? Gilligan's Island, top 10 television theme song of all time?
I don't care about Gilligan's Island.
Put it on the poll. Way to go, yes and. At Le
Hater.
Batard Show, top 10 television theme song of all time. Gilligan's Island, yes or no?
I'm going to say Outside Looking In.
Wow.
Outside, you want me to do it? I'll do it. I'll do it.
You've got all 10? You feel like you've got all 10 right off the top of your head?
Not in order, but I can name 10.
Wow.
10 better than Gilligan's Island. You
Yes.
think you'll get consensus from everyone here in the room if you go 10? All right, go ahead.
These are all sitcoms?
You have dropped a sword in the middle of this show. You are defying everyone, and I believe you. I believe that you will find some Alan Thicke and some Quincy Jones, and you will amaze us.
All right, so again, not in order. So these are not the top 10. These are just 10 better than Gilligan's Island.
Not number 10.
Not number 10, Sanford and Son.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Not number 9, Different Strokes.
So you went Quincy Jones and that's Alan Thicke, right? Yeah.
Not number 8, Facts of Life.
Also Alan Thicke.
Not number 7, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Did he do his own theme song for that? Is that
Yes.
And West Philadelphia.
Produced by QD3, I believe.
Yeah.
Quincy's son. Not number 4, Miami Vice.
You missed number 5. There was a number 5.
I think 6 was missing,
Yeah.
too.
There's no order.
Skip a couple.
There's no order.
Six
Yeah,
and a five.
Yeah,
All
6
right.
could be coming up here.
All right,
Skipper
that's fine.
Chuck.
That's fine. 6. Skipper Chuck.
He skipped 2 numbers.
You're a
Skipped
skipper.
Not 6 and not 5. You're a skipper.
What? Like Skipper from Gilligan's Island or the other Skipper that I don't remember?
You just skipped 2 spots.
You're a skipper. He
You're a
got you.
skipper. You are a skipper.
Well, they're not in order, so I can always go back.
Skipping it.
Is it number 5 right now?
Number 5 or number 6 or number 3, it doesn't matter.
The People's Court.
No. No.
Judge Joe Brown?
Put it on the poll is the people.
Ba-dum-dum-dum.
Isn't that Judge Judy?
Just because,
Da-dum-dum.
just because you're snapping your fingers near your
Da-dum-dum-dum.
nipples.
He's working. That's working, though, Dan.
No, look.
Da-dum-dum.
Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Better theme song, People's Court or Gilligan's Island. But if I start singing Gilligan's Island by snapping my fingers near my nipples, I could jazz it up too.
Ba-dum-dum-dum.
No. I reject that premise. Your list is falling apart.
How's it falling apart? Wait, the People's Court is everyone loves the People's Court.
I agree, but
the
Gilligan-
people are real.
but-
the cases are real.
I'm not disputing the love of the People's Court. I'm saying you're underestimating the epic and seismic eternal echoing of Gilligan's Island.
Okay, you don't like People's Court? How about this? Sunday, Monday, happy days. Tuesday, Wednesday, happy days. Thursday, Friday, happy days. Saturday, what a day. Dum-dum-dum-dum-doo.
3-hour tour.
A 3-hour tour.
Wait, hold on, man. Are you telling me you think Gilligan's Island is better than Happy Days?
No, I'm not telling you that.
Okay, then. All right, so then we're in. Oh, here's one. Knight Rider.
I reject that. You've offended
This episode of the Dan Le Batard Show is presented by DraftKings Sports. DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Chris, were you not ready to do that? Have you been thrown off in general by the eating of the sausages at the wrong time? Like, what's happened?
And
to
my
your
arms are tired. It's been a rough morning.
Okay, so
But I come here, man.
Yeah, you do come here. Do me a
Every
favor.
5 days.
Do me a favor of coming into the studio here. I want to test you with something here in a moment, and I want you to be behind me when we give you this test real quick before I get to this Scooble conversation, because baseball is fascinating to me. Baseball's my favorite. I like it better than football and always have. The trade deadline is interesting to me, and the randomness of baseball. The thing the Dodgers have done that does give them some guarantees that you normally don't have in baseball is the money makes it so that they can always make the playoffs. But just based on what happened this weekend, I don't know if you guys noticed this part of it. The Mariners were really close to winning the championship last year, and they traded Luis Castillo to the White Sox, who were the worst team in the history of baseball. The White Sox are in first place in the American League Central, and they're trading.
Yeah, Tony, but everybody's basically within a handful of games of first
We're
place.
upset about the Dodgers, and they went for the worst team historically, the first
Mariners
place team.
are bad right now, but like 2 good series, they're back in it.
But my point is, though, that the White Sox acquire Castillo because they're in first place, because the Mariners are no longer any good, even though they were real close. And the Blue Jays aren't any good either, even though they were real close last year. Like, the Blue Jays couldn't have been any closer to being a champion last year, but this year it all changes and everything gets turned around. But the reason I brought Chris Cody into the studio with us is A, so that he can watch the video of, can you guys explain to me what's happened here with Chris Cody? Because we now have the surveillance video of him deciding as soon as the show is starting, he's decided to scamper, scurry, run, waddle into the eating area and find himself very quickly a sausage that he then ate like a pelican. Did not chew anything, just tossed it up in the air with his mouth and then swallowed the entirety of the thing the way a wiener should not be swallowed.
Yeah, Dan, so we have these chicken sausages from this place, and
so good.
They're so good. They come in once a week, and everybody knows.
To them. What's going on in there?
A little maple honey, or I don't know what it is, but we eat them, and we're like, yo, this is great. So we told the ladies that order our breakfast and lunch, hey, make sure chicken sausage on the menu at least once a week. Chris has realized, wait a second, I can have a couple of these.
It's like 3 of those things.
Some people don't eat the chicken sausage. They go for the bacon, which allows Chris.
Your mouth is watering.
It is.
While describing
You heard
this.
it, right?
Yeah, you also love a wet sausage. This is a dry sausage. This is a dry sausage.
Some juice in that tin, but yeah, half and half, I'd say.
Chris, can you just give me some understanding, though, of how much time was there before the show started? How did your decision-making go? Why did you scamper the way that you scampered in a hurry and a bit of a panic to get those sausages?
Well, I would say, unlike others around here, during our pre-show, I'm locked in, not really worried about breakfast. Unlike Roy, big plate of breakfast. But so I'm.
First off, stop that. Stop right there. I don't like you and Zaslow breakfast shaming people because Zaz says the same thing about me. He's like, Tony gets everything on the plate. Yeah, because nobody eats anything and I feel bad. I have Cuban guilt. I can't leave stuff on the plate. I got to get the sausage. I got to get the eggs.
For me, between 8 and 9, priority, work. Second priority, breakfast. Other people have that a little closer together. So what happens is we get to like 8:55 and I'm like, I haven't eaten anything. I'm hungry. So I'm hearing the open and I'm like, is it too late? It's never too late. So I scurry over and I get a sausage. I feel like I was doing the right thing there.
Did you get one sausage?
I only did one.
How many sausages did you get?
I didn't have time for multiple. I
love a wet sausage.
Yeah, I do too, Pablo.
The issue that I have is that seems like something that you could have done, should have done, might have done before it affected your first words on the program that sounded like they had a sausage stuck in them.
That's fair.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate you allowing for fair criticism in that spot when all you're doing.
You notice I grabbed the sausage with my hand there too. It's a rough look. We don't have a lot of time.
Are the tongs there
yeah,
or
no? You can see in the background, Greg Cody's already starting his awkward march to the couch. It means you got about 10 seconds
left. You can see there's some true scurrying by me there. There's no lollygagging there. I got somewhere to be.
You are absolutely right when you ask the question, Tony. Were there tongs there? There were.
He looked at him.
But his urgency was such that he just grabbed it. No napkin, no anything.
Did not touch any other sausage. I'm a firm believer that if you're not going to make contact with something else, you can reach in and grab shit with your hands in a public setting. As long as there's no contact with any other
setting.
That's what I mean, like at a buffet, at a work setting. If you're not going to touch anything else, you can grab something.
Strong agree on this, actually, Chris.
Thank you, Jeremy.
I'm not the one you want support from, though. I licked my fingers that one time, and everybody shamed me about it.
Yes, you did.
I love a wet sausage.
I don't think it can be excused that you went in there and grabbed it with 2 fingers. You use your fingers as tongs when the tongs are right there. Like, you can say you didn't touch any other sausage, but those sausages are grouped together, and I believe there were freckles on some of those other sausages.
I'm like a sniper. When I'm grabbing food out of a pan, I'm like a sniper, okay?
I don't believe you're a Green Beret. I don't believe that you are somebody. I don't believe
you're
a
slow-mo on this. Can we get a
SEAL.
Watch me. Oh, there's Jeremy with his finger in his mouth.
See, that's
what the hell, man?
Knuckle deep.
It's on me.
That's
not knuckle deep.
So here we go. Now we're gonna watch the replay again of me. Let's do a little play-by-play here. All right. So I walk up here, and you're gonna notice. Got to get a plate first because I'm not a monster. Okay. I'm not just gonna take a sausage. So then I lift the thing. I look around, make sure no one's looking. Whoop. Just grab it. All right. There we go. Easy peasy. And then off to the microwave. A good 15 seconds. That's a good zap time. 15 seconds.
You did lick the fingers before you put it in there.
Well, because I didn't want to touch the.
We park our cars in the same garage.
Not a great look for me here. Like I said, I didn't have time, guys. Time crunch.
Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Should you grab the community sausage with your 2 fingers and not the tongs? When the tongs are right there.
They're on the other side of that tin.
There's no.
Would have been a long
time.
reach.
Yeah.
Would have been a long reach.
No time.
The reason I have asked Chris Cody to stand behind me is because I want to put him through a test without any warning to see how he does. For those of you who do not know, and we will get to the Scooble story in a second because it's the one dominating the trade deadline, and I'd say sports in a way that surprised me because I didn't think baseball could still do this. The reason I have Chris Cody behind me is because Tony Romo.
Oh, no.
Tony Romo has been put on leave by CBS, which is at least a little curious because there are no games right now. And so J.J. Watt evidently is going to replace him much cheaper while he's on leave for preseason games. And one of America's preeminent broadcast chemistry teams is going to be disrupted for at least the near future and maybe longer, depending on whether or not CBS wants to get out of that contract. And so Romo is being paid, for those of you who do not know, Romo is being paid by CBS on average $18 million a year. It's more than he made in all of the years of his playing career except for one. To me, that's crazy by itself. The fact that Tom Brady makes more as a broadcaster than he does for playing, the fact that Tony Romo made more and makes more as a broadcaster than he does from playing is crazy. But you are, symbolically, and in actuality, you are a face and voice for the league that has been pulled over on the side of the street. And with that comes a responsibility, I would say, that puts your job in jeopardy more than if you're merely the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. If you're the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys, you can survive a DUI or an OWI. If you're the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys, if you're the face and the voice for the league on a preeminent broadcast and they're already unhappy with you for a number of reasons, this might be the beginning of the end of Tony Romo and one of America's premier broadcast teams. And I assume that contractually they might be able to fire him for cause and get out from under that money. My guess is that the delay in all of this and putting him on leave is at least in part so that they can figure out what they want to do, because the only thing that saves or eliminates Tony Romo's job right now is if his bosses were happy with him before this happened, because they'll defend him if they were happy with him and fine with his progress and where it is that he was headed, but they'll figure out a way to get rid of him if they were not happy with him. And I want Chris to try the field sobriety test because I found it confusing while listening to it and sober. Like, this woman peppered Tony Romo with questions that I would have failed if she'd come in here into the studio and asked me to do it at 10 o'clock in the morning on a Monday.
Yeah, walking a straight line right here.
But that's usually when you're super drunk.
Chris, you don't feel confident in your ability to follow these instructions laid out for you the way I'm going to just play.
We're talking straight line, follow the pen with my eyes, don't move my head. Never done it before, just heard.
No, that's not what I'm going to ask you to do. After all of that, I believe that she gave an unfair field sobriety test. Now, I think Tony Romo would have failed whatever the test was, including, give me something on a snap count. Like, I think he would have failed all of the tests.
He failed Are Your Grandparents Alive?
But I believe, let's have Chris Cody try to follow these instructions.
Okay.
Try to follow these instructions as given by the police officer to Tony Romo.
Do not start the test until I tell you to do so. Do you understand?
Yep.
When I tell you to start, raise either leg.
All right.
With the foot approximately 6 inches off the ground, keeping your foot parallel to the ground.
Parallel.
Keep both legs straight and your arms down at the side. So foot parallel to the ground, okay? Yeah. All right, keep both legs straight and your arms down at the side.
That's 6
Holding
inches.
that position, count out loud in the following manner.
Okay.
1001, 1002, 1003, and so on until you are told to stop. Keep your arms at your sides at all time.
Wait, what? Can you start
and
over?
Keep watching the raised foot.
What?
And then you just tell me which foot you want to raise, okay? I think I'm going to raise my right, okay?
Yes.
Approximately 6 inches, 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, and so on until I tell you to stop.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay? Got to tell you to begin.
Oh,
Do
I
you
already
understand?
started.
Yes, I got it.
Okay.
The test hadn't even started.
I was doing it the whole time.
No, Romo failed, and it hadn't even started.
It was confusing.
I was like, what? Look at the foot.
Jason Benetti came on with us and told us the other day that the field sobriety test has to be made easier. And I now agree with him. Because Tony Romo had no chance of passing that test if they got him in the broadcast booth at 1 o'clock on a Sunday. Like, that he wasn't going to pass that test. You know why? Because he played a lot of football. And, like, his back hurts and his head hurts and he's got cobwebs and standing on one foot. Did you guys see Kirk Cousins try and do drills? This is Kirk Cousins. He's still in the league. Did you see him try and do drills for the Raiders? You play that position for 15 years in the league. They can make all the rules meant to protect you. You're still... Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Can a 35-year-old quarterback who's still in the league pass a field sobriety test while sober? Any of them. Any of them. Just, you're going to have to lock them up because they're going to be under the influence of football.
What does the hair look like?
Drunk hair.
That was drunk hair. That was Dreher.
Chris, get out of here. You failed.
Take the rest of the day off.
You failed the test. I want to play the video for the audience of Kirk Cousins.
Luis Arias has been traded to the Philadelphia Phillies.
Nice. Dombrowski.
Thanks. I hate it.
For what it's worth, I looked up CBS's next preseason broadcast. Best I could tell from cursory internet searches, they only have one preseason broadcast, week 3 of the preseason, so that's August 28th.
So to put him on leave now for a month as you sort all of this out and to announce the specifics of it's not just putting him on leave. J.J. Watt's the replacement. You don't have a game.
Who was celebrated last year.
But you don't have a game. You don't have a game until August 28th, so you're putting him on leave now. So you're telling us right now that he's on leave until at least the 28th, correct? By telling us that J.J. Watt is the replacement, you're telling us we're going to hear a game that is disrupted in one of the premier booths in all of football. Nance, Tony Romo, one of the highest paid broadcasters in the history of sports, is being taken off the air for at least one game and replaced by a cheaper J.J. Watt.
It would be a weird thing to announce if there wasn't going to be a game at least that he'd miss.
So what's your best guess on whether or not Tony Romo still has a job after this?
That's a great question. I don't know, and I also don't know what's fair. They might be waiting to see how this all goes through legally too. But it does, I was a little skeptical. I'm like, man, it might be a little soon for Dan to take it there. But I think you're right on the money. This could absolutely be leveraged by CBS and Paramount in a way that gets them out of a contract they might be regretting.
100%, because if he was dominating, dialed in, they'd be like, oh, OWI, sweep that under the rug. Who cares about that? He'll be ready for football week 1. And now it's like, oh, will he? We don't know. Might be a way to get out of the contract.
When I was growing up, the baseline for commentators was be super drunk, preferably on the job.
I mean, I always thought Pat Summerall was drunk. There are broadcasts where Howard Cosell was indeed drunk.
You know why there are all these empty spaces in baseball? It's not the game. It's because they're reaching over to drink something big and brown.
Harry Carey was probably drunk on occasion. But the thing that I want to talk about with you guys on the importance of these broadcasters, okay, because this has been something that has been intriguing to me the entirety of the last, I'm going to say, 15 years, where all of these prime jobs end up going to former Dallas Cowboys, even though the Cowboys are never any actually good. Whether it's Jason Garrett or whether it's Aikman or whether it's Tony Romo or Moose Johnston, whoever it is you want to pick, the former Cowboys get the best jobs. And also, I'm wondering how intrigued you guys are by this part. Do you find it interesting at all that Romo makes more as a broadcaster than he ever did as the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys, except for 1 year when he made more than his average salary from CBS, which is he's working once a week. He doesn't have to do all of the off-season training. The job is less rigorous in all the ways than playing football by a multiple of 1,000.
Right. I am with you there. Being quarterback seems way more difficult than doing what Tony Romo does now alongside Jim Nance on Sundays. However, let's look at the marketplace. If you are the star of television's biggest show, your salary is in line with the stars of television's biggest stars, like Ray Romano. Ray Romano was making an ungodly amount of money when he had the biggest sitcom. Charlie Sheen was making an ungodly amount of money when he was a star of Ryan Seacrest. Same deal. And that's exactly what these guys are. For whatever reason, we are not programmed that way. But Jim Nantz and Tony Romo, they are the stars of television's, and not by a little, biggest thing going.
But this is where I'm going to stop you, though. Do you know how many years Jim Nantz had to work to get to his salary, which is still half as much as Romo's, which he got walking in the door?
But it's the position.
I get it. I understand why it's happening, but Tony Romo is getting twice as much, roughly, as Jim Nantz, and Jim Nantz has had to work his entire career in order to get there, and Romo gets that by virtue of being the Dallas Cowboys quarterback.
But I think you're also minimizing that achievement. Tony Romo also worked his entire career to get himself in a position where he is in demand as a lead voice, the same way that Tom Brady did.
Agreed, but not at that job. He's being paid at an entry-level experience, the biggest salary that there is. He's making more than Joe Buck. He's making more than everyone except, I believe, Tom Brady.
Right,
I believe,
but there is a scale. There's a scale for he auditioned for the job, and there is a scale for lead analysts on the network afternoon game.
But this is my point on that. When you say the scale, it's about to change. If they can replace him with J.J. Watt, they're not going to pay J.J. Watt the way that they're paying Tony Romo.
I think if it changes, J.J. Watt gets a raise.
He'll get a raise, but he's not going to be making $18 million. They have an ability here, if they want to. Look, there is right now, and I learned this in a way that was really stupefying, given that I sat right in the middle of it and did not notice what was happening with sports media seats, okay? There became a time at ESPN where if Jamel or Pablo or Bomani or Sarah Spain or anybody wanted a seat on ESPN television, the only one remaining was the one next to my father. Like, all of those people, there was one seat remaining for it. So I sort of saw, swimming right in the middle of it, I saw the way that ESPN ended up contracting before it contracted, because there was one seat available for all of the people that I worked with, and it was next to my father. Right now, in broadcast streaming, everyone needs broadcasters. Everyone wants live sports. No one but CBS was paying like that, except for Fox, for one guy, and it was Romo. And I think he might have just thrown away that bag, and I think he might have changed the way that position has to be paid, at least at CBS, because they have the ability to get out from under the contract if they want to. And this is not a crime that would normally put that contract in jeopardy. It's only in jeopardy because they're already unhappy with him.
Right. But I do think the marketplace, like Aikman makes similar money. Brady makes more. There's like 5 of those jobs, and he's right in line with what people make at that job.
And CBS and Paramount now have the ability to lower it. They have
but ultimately it's because if they're seizing this opportunity, and we have evidence that suggests they've been unhappy, and it's not just them. Yeah. I mean, people have soured on Tony Romo. The Joe sports fan, where's the predictive analysis? Where's all that fun stuff that we used to like about Tony Romo? Generally, his stock is down across the board.
I think it should be paid more. Like, I think every single person on a professional live sports broadcast should be paid as much as anyone in any position in the United States.
I do think that there's this weird thing, and Dan's guilty of it too, where we don't look at these people as linchpins to entire networks programming. There's a reason why they go to these advertiser conventions and they're pitching everything, and they're doing it with the faces of the network. And Jim Nantz and Tony Romo are faces of that network.
And when you are the face of a network, it can't be pulled over drunk driving and embarrass the network that way, in a way that is sustained without hurting the value of what it is that we're talking about. Because I would say to you and continue to say to you that we overrate the importance of what it is Tony Romo is doing there, because I don't believe that they will lose a viewer on what is their Sunday broadcast if Tony Romo's not doing it. Not one. I don't believe they will lose one single viewer because it's J.J. Watt, because they steal Greg Olsen, because they decide to do it with just some random offensive lineman. You tell me, do you think? Because when you're talking about paying someone more than he ever made as an NFL quarterback for a symbolic position, but it doesn't actually cost you a viewer if you eliminate the position entirely. I'll go a step further. If Jim Nantz were doing that broadcast by himself, I don't believe CBS would lose a viewer who wants to watch that CBS game. Not one. Not one would leave.
I'd like to have a little color.
I would too, but I'm just throwing the hypothetical out there.
I agree.
I'm saying you're still going to watch the game because you're interested in the game. So why are we paying those people that way?
You know what? You're right. I think they should probably take that position and divvy up the money, give it to the people down on the sideline, because what they have to do, being prepared at any given moment on a live broadcast to be able to communicate an extra story as they go chat with people in the locker room. Now, those are the real heroes here in America that deserve top-tier salaries.
Happy 49th birthday today to Tom Brady.
Happy birthday to him. I don't care. Good luck.
Did you see him over the weekend on the yacht where it was just him in the front of the yacht, this like $12 million boat, and he's going out, it's just him, and I felt sad for him. It's like nobody there to celebrate with, your kid, your wife, no, everybody hates you.
I saw that thing too. It's
Ex-wife.
so like I don't think that's such a gigantic yacht. I don't think we know he was alone on it.
Yeah, I think there's people down below.
People were like, "Oh, look how sad that
on
is."
the
And
top
I'm like,
deck, though, somebody can hang out.
my boy is living. Even if that's like his Sunday morning, let me just go on a cruise by myself around. Like everyone feeling bad for Tom Brady
felt
there
bad.
was hilarious.
Chris Cody, many of the listeners are pointing out that after you grab that sausage with your fingers instead of tongs, you immediately put your hand with those greasy fingers on the community microwave. And you did so.
I believe I licked him first to clean off.
Yes.
So get your facts straight.
Steve Martin pointed that out.
I want to clean the fingers. I believe there's a shirt wipe there quickly.
Well, it's a different hand, but then you.
You're touching all of the buttons with that wet finger. You touched all of the buttons with the licked fingers. I mean, that is foul.
Did I not grab it with my left hand, the sausage?
The paper towels are right there.
So's the tongue.
No time.
Guys, time crunch.
Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Are you disgusted by someone who touches the communal microwave with their wet sausage fingers? Because the thing about the fingers is the sausage was not wet.
I love a wet sausage.
The fingers were wet because he put them in his mouth after consuming or after grabbing the dry sausage.
I love a wet sausage.
Yeah, not a good look for me.
Which one? The fact that you keep stepping on Roy every time he's playing the I love a wet sausage, or just the fact that you're putting the microwave, your fingers all over the microwave while they're wet? Which one?
I'm afraid to talk now.
What do you do if you're Tony Romo's agent, you point to the fact that the ratings are better now than they were before I showed up? We've seen quantifiably ESPN improved its Monday Night Football booth, and the ratings reflect that. And not only do their ratings reflect that, the Manning cast ratings have dipped because more people are on ESPN because Joe Buck and Troy Aikman have settled the waters.
Because all of football has gone up in ratings everywhere. Everybody's ratings are up during football season. Everyone's.
Right, but this is an argument that I'd use in a negotiation. If I'm Troy Aikman and Joe Buck, I rescued your booth.
Okay, so what do you think is going to happen here, though? What do you think the conversations are happening right now in private? Do you believe, your best guess is Romo's going to keep his job, yes or no?
I don't want to be reckless. My personal belief is that they're unhappy for it to leak out the way that it did. And also, this is just industry chatter around Tony Romo, too. Yeah, I don't think you're wrong in them seizing this opportunity potentially because they're just not happy with the performance of Tony Romo.
We can question the all of it, including when you're making that kind of money, not having a driver at all times so that this doesn't happen to you. But one of the things that I go to, even though I don't want Tony Romo to lose his job, and I don't want ever for people to be defined by their worst public mistakes, The fact that he was asking to stretch his back and everything during that, the fact that I think that he's cloudy because he had a bunch of concussions and a bunch of injuries that puts him in pain. I think most quarterbacks walking around the world at this age, playing the way that Romo played, with as many injuries as Romo had and played through, I think many of them are in a constant pain and discomfort. I want to play for you now the video of Kirk Cousins running the other day, because I have something that I want to put in front of the audience and the American people as an idea, and you tell me whether it's a good idea or a bad idea. Let's watch Kirk Cousins here running some sprints with his teammates very poorly. Clearly not an athlete of any kind. This is also, if I told you this is Adam Sandler, 1 year of eligibility left in a movie where he's a 50-year-old trying to make the team in college, you would tell me that's not the quarterback of the Raiders. That's Adam Sandler trying out for a team in his 50s. He might as well be holding a jar of pickles and trying to eat from it as he does his exercise. I'd like to go to Roger Goodell and Jay-Z and an assortment of people and say, you know what? I've got a job for Colin Kaepernick. If you can't be more athletic than him in a private workout, you can't start at quarterback in this league. If you can't just simply move around during the drills better than the present day Colin Kaepernick, you shouldn't be allowed to have a starting job in the NFL. Last time I saw Kirk Cousins, he had an arm that was a noodle.
Tore his Achilles also. If you mentioned that.
All right. Let's have Colin Kaepernick and Tom Brady do a shuttle drill. Who are you picking?
It's a good question.
Clown.
I'd be fine with
I'm picking
Tom
the
Brady
Patriots.
starting
Also,
at 49.
It's the first week of camp. That's day one of camp. Cut the guy a break.
Oh, wow. Okay, so you don't think he should be fresher because his body's not injured by an
No,
assortment
it takes
of
you a
things.
while to
Shake the
warm up.
rust off.
Okay.
You ever run a sprint in your life?
Roy, you got it. It's the beginning.
You ever run a sprint? Answer that.
Some people use the warm-ups to warm up, Dan.
Okay, so from the offseason, Kirk Cousins has had an offseason.
Let's see how you look doing that.
Do a sprint.
I'd look like that.
No, he looks
way better than you.
Way better.
I disagree. I believe
better.
that play it again. I believe that I could absolutely do what Kirk Cousins did as the starting quarterback of the Raiders because Fernando Mendoza's not ready. I can absolutely do that. What are you kidding me? He's not even.
You would look better than that.
Yeah, I'd look the same. I'd look the same.
Maybe he was just sitting on his foot and his right foot's asleep.
I think he's going out of his way to get a full stretch on that Achilles. I don't see anything wrong with that. I don't. Good gait. Fact should start week 1
for a team that's going to be 1-16.
Yeah. I bet you Mendoza looks a little bit better at that drill, but that's not playing quarterback. There's way more to it.
Moving on to what I believe is the story of the day in sports that it's taken me too long to get to in earnest because I was too busy talking about Tony Romo. The Los Angeles Dodgers skewing the sport in such a way that has people howling that what they just did by trading for Scooble is unfair. I don't know. Have you guys heard anybody else saying what is my theory that the Dodgers got him just to keep him off of every other roster that can beat them in the postseason?
No, I like that take a lot, actually. It's a luxury that they can afford.
Well, they can afford every luxury.
Well, they can afford the luxury because they're not being taxed as if they make a ton of money. They're being taxed as if they're bankrupt, which is unfair until 2039.
The supersized secret in that sport is that the Dodgers and their television deal altered everything in a way that made them the new Yankees. But even in the age of Steinbrenner, it wasn't this lopsided, where there were years under Steinbrenner where the Yankees couldn't and didn't make the playoffs. What the Dodgers have guaranteed themselves is not postseason success, but they've absolutely guaranteed themselves we're getting to the playoffs every year. We are too good. We have too many reinforcements. It doesn't matter if Snell's hurt. It doesn't matter if Glasnow's hurt. It doesn't matter if Mookie Betts stinks now. It doesn't matter. They can just keep replacing everything as they go because they have what feels like 3 times more money than everyone else. And so when they make those propaganda ads on behalf of the salary cap, and I ask you guys the question, when's the last time in sports you saw, anywhere in sports, it doesn't really happen in football, right? Although the Rams are trying to do it, but it doesn't happen in football. That's unfair. where the reaction is just from all sports fans. A trade happens, and they're like, that shouldn't be allowed. How do we stop that from happening? The salary cap forces all of these teams to govern themselves. Otherwise, this would be happening. This would be happening in football. Somebody would be buying all of the players. It would probably be Jerry Jones. Somebody, if there were not a salary cap that forced these owners to govern themselves, and if there was not something that was collectively bargained to put ceilings on the two rich guys competing for stuff, you guys know this would be happening in basketball and football as well. Somebody would just get all of the players. The reason it can happen here is because there is no salary cap, and one team has more money than all the others and now has everyone howling unfairness when it's just not something I see very often.
Well, Dan, you've always talked about that. Like, open it up. Free market completely across the board. See what somebody's willing to pay for Dak Prescott on the open market.
Well, DeMaurice Smith told us that what you would then get is collusion of a different sort.
To get the opposite way collusion, because they're colluding this way, but now they're colluding that way.
What DeMaurice Smith has said is that if you do not, and I don't know, do you guys agree with this? Because DeMaurice Smith would have vastly more information and knowledge on this than the rest of us. But he says, because I asked him, do you regret agreeing to a salary cap? And he's like, no, then I am ensuring that these owners do have to spend their money. Otherwise, they will get together and figure out not to spend it. And I'm like, no, they won't. There's always going to be a Daniel Snyder or a Jerry Jones or a Stephen Cohn or somebody out there or a Ballmer who's like, no, I want to win. I'm not going to collude with you. I want to win.
And that's what the players are banking on in their offer to the owners right now, because what they've offered is, for competitive balance, a tax on each end. What they've said is there's going to be a certain number where if you spend over that, you're taxed, and you have what's essentially what happens in the NBA with that first and second apron where you pay this massive tax bill. But they've also suggested it at a bottom number, that if you don't spend a certain amount, so to create essentially a salary floor, there is a tax, because there are so many teams that spend at a low payroll, and their view of it is that the teams pocket so much money from revenue deals. The Dodgers are an aberration in all of this, the way they make money hand over fist.
I don't believe that, as obsessed as we are now with money in sports, and as much as we talk about money in sports, I don't believe that the grand majority of people listening to this understand the second apron, and I don't believe they understand what the league just did with that second apron that the players weren't expecting, which is they all agreed, okay, it's not because the tax is actually so much, because Ballmer can afford it. It's not because, and Gilbert can afford it and does. Like, it's not because the tax is so much that people avoid it. It's because that then James Dolan can have the excuse, hey, the second apron. It's just so that they can have the excuse. Like, none of them have to respect it. And it's not actually so punitive that any of them can't afford it. Maybe there are a few. But the truth of the matter is they're using that second apron to do the collusion without doing the collusion.
And they did that on top of making roster maneuverability more difficult. You can't acquire guys in sign-in trades. So it puts the president of the team or the GM of the team in a more difficult space in trying to improve the roster long term. So it's punitive to the owner, who already is like, I don't want to spend all of that money. And the team has to look at it operationally from a perspective of, hey, if we just keep operating in the second apron, we're not going to be able to make the moves in the margins that help you win.
Do you believe that most of the audience, or even 10% of the audience, understands everything happening or anything happening with the second apron? Not everything, anything happening with the second apron.
How about the first apron?
There's people in the media that don't know.
You understand then what I am saying when I tell you that if I opened up to every owner on football and said, hey, Mahomes is available.
You say you want that, but you don't. It makes, at least in America, this is how it's been. Baseball's been lucky. Cap sports legislate that your team in a small market has a shot. And in soccer, it becomes a point of frustrating, although I think you could look to the Premier League and be a little encouraged. You have stories like Leicester City winning. You have Bournemouth making it to Europe. You have Brighton making it to Europe. And you have teams like Tottenham almost get relegated. So I don't think in football it would work kind of that way. We'd all assume, like, man, this team's spending unlimited resources. They're going to be the best. There's too many variables in football. There's injury. The ball's not round. And there's things that you can do schematically. I think the the toughest sport to see that happen would be basketball.
I don't think that I would be anti-free market, anti-capitalism, because the Raiders don't have a chance now with the salary cap and haven't for 20 years. The Dolphins with a salary cap haven't had a chance for 20 years. What are they going to do? Have less of a chance? Like,
but at least the Raiders have something that they can hinge their hopes on.
I mean,
because they
false,
have a draft.
but they're false hopes. I want to get into this a little more because it is super rare to have a trade that all of sports reacts to with "that's unfair." You're stuck in the 80s and 90s.
Whoa, hey!
Michael, we hadn't teased that one yet. Night Rider is one of the coolest theme songs of
I
all
agree,
time.
but it's not Gilligan's Island, and I don't name the words. Name the words on the theme song. You got to have some words. It can't just be all instrumental.
A shadowy figure.
It can't be all instrumentals. It can't have no song in it.
It can be wordless.
Yeah.
For example, the whistling in front of the Andy Griffith Show.
You know what? No, it can be. You're right. Hawaii 5-0 is in my top 5, and I don't think. Yeah. That one's good.
Just sit right back and you hear a tale of a tiny fateful ship.
Oh, you guys want one? You want 80s for real?
You guys got me, man. You guys are going to come up with a top 10 list. It's like you might be able to do it with just instrumentals.
Dan, have you ever heard of a show called Magnum P.I.? And then it switches.
I need to know from all of you if the theme song, I'm realizing now, because he's grabbing everything from the last century. Like there's nothing. You haven't. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air is the closest thing to recent you're giving us in the last 30 years. Has the theme song on television died, or are you?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
It's
a lot of shows just go right into action. There's no real theme song.
So it's died? So wait a minute. Is there anything on your list from this century?
So no.
So 1987. So no.
You know about that B.A. Baracus?
Why?
With Gilligan, the skipper too, the millionaire and his wife, the movie star, the professor and Marianne here on Gilligan's Isle.
Oh man, such a big close.
Move them in, move them out, move them up, move them up, rawhide. Ride them in, rawhide.
Yeah.
1950s.
That's great rawhide. Are you kidding me?
When did this die and no one told me? What, you guys have not named anything in 30 years. Like that.
The Office theme song.
Here's one more. Oh, the way Glenn Miller played songs that made the hit parade.
All in the Family.
Guys like us, we had it made.
Those were the days.
How you do what you wanted?
Days of dreams, man, were mine.
I have never been more surprised in the entirety of my existence than Roy unleashing Edith from All in the Family singing voice in the perfect tone. It is the most surprised I've been, not on this show, in all my time living.
A goal. There's no question about that.
Nope, no chance.
Will you? You don't think? I don't know. That's a big goal, man. That's a wide-ass goal.
Do you know what foot you on?
I'm ready. Will I kick with my left or right foot?
Are you wearing shin guards?
Instep? Yeah, you know why? Because we got a rumor that Emerson here, as soon as he lets up the first goal, he's going to come out and try to kick my lower leg. So we decided to put me in shin guards.
Emerson, have you ever tried? You hear all the time in sports some form of, is it time to panic? Is it not time to panic? Is it time to press the panic button? Is it not time to press the panic button? This weekend, I felt genuine panic in a way that I had not experienced in a really long time. And it made me think in sports of the idea of, is there a right time to panic? It's always terrible to panic, correct? Like there's never, is there ever a good time to panic?
Yeah, I think there's times that panic meets a moment. You want to be Joe Cool, but I think there's, what, you think poise?
I just think there are degrees, and panic is the worst of them. And if you're making emotional decisions while panicked, like nobody wants to be panicked, and you don't want to be making decisions while panicked, you're not clear-eyed and stuff. But I was this weekend genuinely panicked, and I will tell you the story. And the panic has me sprinting in the streets for, I'm going to say, a nonstop 7 minutes.
What is it, McRib back?
Of why would that cause me panic? Why would you're making a fat joke there?
They do sell out.
Because they sell out? Because the McRib sells out, you think is the reason that I'm panicked? Cheap joke. It's
limited time, man.
Beneath you. I live in a very small building and a very, very old building. Okay, it's the building I live in is more than 100 years old. And I did not think that there was a circumstance, because I have an elevator that only opens in my foyer if I'm the one using the fob to get the elevator to come to my foyer.
Sounds like a private elevator.
I did not. It's sort of private, right? I would say it's sort of private because it rarely opens, but sometimes there are some people somehow, and I'm not really sure how this happens. I'm going to
You've sent countless emails.
It's no, nobody answers the emails because it's an old building that's poorly taken care of.
100-year-old building.
Yeah.
So you've sent countless emails. You've had 0 of them returned.
There are often people in the foyer delivering packages, or just randomly drunk people, because the building I'm in has a lot of Airbnb. It's basically a hotel. Very few people live there. Many people are coming through. But I simply did not think, because of all the fobs, all the sensors that it requires to get in and out the various levels, I did not believe there was a way, and I'm going to show you guys this video, for my dog to get out of the entirety of my building, okay? I did not think it was possible for my dog to escape my building because there are so many doors and locks and fobs everywhere. But let's play this video, and you guys will see a video that was horrifying to me, and I'm going to tell you how it is that this happened.
Look at the little puppy. That's a good dog.
Because you see that my dog, without a collar, by the way, my dog, which I don't think can get away here, has now taken an elevator by himself.
He didn't even push a button.
There are no
Where's his
buttons.
fob?
That's correct. The elevator shouldn't move. It shouldn't go anywhere, but somebody on a floor.
Who's this?
That's right. That is Deezus.
Jay Wheeler?
Memph Bleak?
A random person gets on with my dog, and I will tell you that my dog was unusually friendly in that circumstance. And now this person, now keep in mind, that's the lobby, so he still shouldn't be able to get out. There's still doors and stuff that
guy did not seem to care at all about
at
your dog.
all. That person is responsible for my dog escaping.
No, you're responsible for your dog escaping.
But for the audio audience, so the dog's in there alone. Another guy walks in, and then they go down to the lobby. And you'd think if a guy was like, "Oh, there's a loose dog here. Let me," and the guy just lets the dog walk out of the
I don't
elevator.
know. You ever see Little Rascals? Sometimes dogs just do their own thing. I could see this guy wandering into. I'm sure he's like, "Wow, this is a little weird."
You gotta at least be flagging security if you're this guy. Like, hey, there's a dog here. This isn't me. I don't know where this dog goes.
This is the dog's thing. The dog takes the elevator, knows exactly where to go.
It is a rich dog move to just like go down solo.
I'm going to explain to you guys what happened here, as you guys are very comfortable blaming me for this. Here are the circumstances that resulted in this happening. As I'm getting home, my wife is in a total panic because a sprinkler system has busted and our house is filling with brown water. So she is running around with buckets and garbage cans because a pipe has burst and now there is brown water.
The worst type of water.
Running into the house. And
100-year-old building.
So I come in and there is an alarm going off and my wife is panicked. And my first instinct is the dog, it's going to bother the dog's ears. The dog's hiding somewhere in the house. Where's the dog? Where's the dog?
Dan's playing hide and seek in the house, and the dog's in the lobby.
The dog? No. Wait till I tell you what happens here. No. The dog's not in the lobby.
Wait, how did the dog surely is in the lobby?
I did not think.
How many security breaches are there?
I did not think that there was a way for this dog to get out of this building. Otherwise, the dog would be wearing its collar with its telephone number, its address, and everything else. I did not think that what happened was possible, which is Valerie's distracted and the alarm has spooked the dog because the alarm will not stop going off. I think the dog is hiding in a closet, trying to hide from the sound somewhere. Can't find the dog. Now, I don't know how long the dog's been gone for because I asked Valerie. I'm like, Valerie, where is Early? And she's like, what do you mean he's not here? And I'm like, what do you mean he's not here? Where is Early? So now I'm running up and down the stairs.
So who's on first situation? Early's late.
Early's lost. If the dog's name was found, it would be who's on first situation. Where's found?
Well, who shot John?
You could argue Early was late for dinner.
I don't blame the guy.
I do.
I don't blame the guy.
I do.
Well, the guy doesn't say, like, if he's someone that lives there all the time and he recognizes the dog, that would help. But from what best I can tell, you mentioned that there's a lot of Airbnbs. This dude's just passing through.
But what do you guys do if you get on to an elevator with a dog?
I'm probably feeling it out. Your dog was wagging its tail. Yeah. So then I'd probably ask, hey, this is kind of strange. And I feel it out because that could be a mean-looking dog. You never know.
It's not like the dog wandered on while he was there because then you know where the dog is coming from. He entered the elevator. This dog could be on any floor according to this guy. So I think it was a smart move.
I don't know anything about this dog.
You write it down, and I would just tell security. I would be like, hey, security, I don't know who this dog is.
Surely security would notice when the dog comes out of the elevator.
You guys are reacting in a way that I would not react. If I got on an elevator and there was a dog there, I would not simply walk out of the building with the dog. That dog can't get out of the lobby unless it's following that guy right out the door into the street. That door, the front door does not open and the dog does not have an ability to get out unless that guy let him out. That guy,
he doesn't just use the fob? How did he get in the elevator?
That's a good question. I don't know why the elevator opened on our floor. I'm still confused by everything that happened there that includes my dog being in the foyer because everything was in such a panic that the doors were open to my house because Valerie was waiting for people to get there with buckets and garbage cans and everything else.
To you and Valerie's credit, you guys seem to have trained this dog. It's like this dog was not panicked at all. It wasn't like some dogs you would be like, where's my owner? I don't know. Like your dog was just wagging his tail when this guy walked in, just moseyed out of the elevator, like not a care in the world.
I could see this gentleman that wandered into the elevator, just minding his business, thinking that, I guess this is a thing in this building. There's the
building.
There's the elevator dog. He seems pretty happy with it. It seems like he has a better idea of where he's going than I do.
Chris, you're making this up. You think a lot of rich buildings have a lot of stray dogs wandering around?
No, it's called it's a rich elevator.
This is not a rich building, and it's not a rich elevator.
It's also not a stray dog.
It is a rich dog.
It's not a stray dog. The last thing I'm thinking, I was like, wow, this dog came from the street. That's not something I'm thinking. I'm thinking like, oh, this might be the building dog. Yeah.
If it is the building dog, I believe it has to stay in the building. And if it is the building dog and you're in a tourist area, once you've let this dog out, as this dog was let out, this dog is running into and around traffic, like all around traffic. This is not a neighborhood. This is a touristy area.
This is classic Disney dog movie behavior. Yeah. This is how, if you've ever watched Homeward Bound, that's how they got anywhere. They just look happy and they find someone that's holding a door ajar. Like, this is how they get anywhere.
It is wild how little this guy reacts to the dog at all. Like, you'd think there'd be at least a pet. Like, oh, there's a dog in here. He acknowledges the dog, keeps texting, and then just walks out of the elevator like he didn't even see the dog.
I'm legitimately stunned that my dog behaved that way with him, because my dog does not do well with others. Like this,
you're lucky, because you could have gotten your ass sued.
That's correct. That to me, when I saw the elevator moving, first of all, right? Because the dog's not pressing the elevator. Otherwise, I should just be able to press the door, it opens, and my dog comes back to me, because there's not that much traffic in the building, especially this time of year. It's just a quieter time of year, and I'm one of the few people that's in the entirety of the building. The idea that this human being allowed this to happen with the dog.
You're talking about yourself.
See, I don't think we know, because I think if that guy exits the elevator and calls attention to security of like, hey, there's a dog here, like, then I feel like that's all he really. I'm with you. If that guy just exits the elevator and leaves and doesn't mention the dog to anybody, that's a jerk move by this guy.
If I'm assigning blame, number 1 goes to Dan. Yeah. Number 2 goes to dog. Bad dog. Don't scare daddy like that.
You stay with your own.
Number 3. Whoever's working the lobby of your building, you have to have security there.
I can't be on the top of your list. Valerie might be at the top of your list. I'm getting home and the dog's gone. Like, how's that my fault?
Valerie deserves way more blame than Memphis Bleak. Memphis Bleak did nothing wrong. He was kind enough, and he's just doing Memphis Bleak.
No, your sentence is too long. You can't say he did nothing wrong. He did nothing, and that was wrong. Like,
he didn't say anything to security?
Where's security in all of this?
He had to have let the dog out. Hold on. This is about to get worse, okay? Because you guys still don't have me running around for 7 minutes dressed like this. Full sprint.
Oh, that's a sheer panic.
Quite the visual.
Full sprint, because the dog doesn't have a collar. The dog's never been out. The dog's not finding his way home. And the dog is around streets where there are cars and has no experience being off a leash in anything other than a park. And I don't know how long he's been gone. So as I'm running full sprint down the street, I'm asking the people who are running restaurants and everyone else, have you seen a black dog?
You must look crazy.
Of course. And I'm dressed in like pants. I am dressed in a way that doesn't look like
Good thing you had pants on.
Exercising. It does. Everyone else out there who's running is exercising. I'm running past them.
Fully clothed.
Faster than Kirk Cousins.
I'd like to see the video of that.
Yeah. Like me scurrying for a sausage.
All right, so there is no...
Not that fast.
So we've established that the dog gets out, presumably follows this gentleman out the front door. You don't have security stationed there? Because that's like the last line of defense.
And if you're the only person in the building, the security guard would be like, hey, I know that dog.
That's Dan's
hey,
dog.
that's Early.
The reason security's not stationed there is because we've got brown water flooding into our apartment, and they've been coming up and down up the stairs, evidently.
What kind of water?
This happened have you ever seen Baby's Day Out? This is kind of like Baby's Day Out.
What a bowl of cereal that guy makes.
I can't remember the last time that I was this panicked, because I knew, as is the case with abductions inside of 24 hours, like, I've got just a few minutes to figure out where it is this dog is.
Of dog abductions in 24 hours? You have that data, or is that human?
I'm
just picturing
human abductions.
Early!
24 hours? What are you talking about?
Dan's applying cold case rules to this caper.
You got to find lost people, abducted people, lost dogs, abducted dogs, pets.
That's the second Joe Mantegna reference here in 20 seconds. Baby's Day Out. And what's that missing person show that he was on?
You got to find them pretty quickly. And I don't know how long the dog has been gone, because I don't know how long my wife has been dealing with the fact that the sprinkler system has busted open. And I just don't know what kind of time I have, and I don't have the dog chipped. Maybe I should have had the dog chipped, but I have a collar for the dog that would allow anyone to call me if
it
they
doesn't
find
have it
the
on.
dog. It doesn't have it on.
Another failing.
Yes.
on the Le Batard house. You're pointing a lot of fingers, and yeah, this is unfortunate, and the leaky pipes ultimately. All right, building first because of the leaky pipes in the security that left their post. You shouldn't do that. Then Valerie and Dan Le Batard. Then dog. Bad dog. Then Memph bleed.
Mike, I can't be blamed if the dog has escaped before I've gotten home.
All right, you're not to blame. You want Valerie to get the full blame here.
I don't want Valerie at the top of the list either, but Valerie's
How'd you
closer
find
to
the
the top
dog?
of the list than I am.
Yeah. Yes, I agree. How'd you find the dog?
Give us the happy ending.
So I'm sprinting all over the place.
Early.
Yes, that's correct.
Black dog! Black dog! Black dog!
Yelling early.
Early
That's
black
not a
dog.
name.
But also breathless.
You see a black dog.
24 hours, you have to find somebody.
It's early.
Have you ever watched Criminal Minds
You know
with
the
Joe
history.
Mantegna?
On the phone with your assistant. I need help.
You know the
got a real-
history of abductions.
We got a real baby stay out situation.
We know for the first 24 hours.
Vern Troyer was a stunt double instead of the baby. It wasn't actually a baby.
Too soon. I'm sprinting all over the place
Big rib is back.
in a in a full-on panic, whereupon I find my dog in the kitchen of a restaurant eating potatoes. I'm crossing traffic. He's crossed the street.
Like entire
but
potatoes?
No, he's being fed potatoes by somebody who's called animal services because there's been a strange dog there for a few minutes, and our dog was about to be sent. I mean, I guess we probably could have found him through animal services if we called immediately and said, has anyone turned in a black dog in this area? But now what's happened to punish both me and reward the dog is that's what the dog thinks is available when he goes outside that he did not know was
He had an
available
incredible
before
day.
that.
Rich
so,
dog.
So now the elevator,
Potatoes.
the dog doesn't eat like that.
They
Chris.
don't have carbs in this house.
The dog found Rich's outside. The dog eats gourmet meat, but only gourmet meat. Some blueberries and some carrots. He's never had potatoes. I wanted to lay on the kitchen of the floor and be fed potatoes there, breathlessly. The dog was laying down, and they were just dropping potatoes on the floor. The
I'm
dog's
picturing
never,
scallop potatoes.
the
I don't know
dog's
why.
never allowed to eat like that. When's the last time you guys have felt full-blown panic? Like, give me the situation. I don't think it's something that most people experience very often, so I assume you're going to remember the last times that you have felt anything like feels like full-blown panic, because the last time I felt like what's funny about the story I'm about to tell you is this is the last time I'd felt panic like this. This is a great half sentence. Was when I was in China with Michael Jordan. Because I was in a market, ESPN, the magazine, had sent me to a tour with Michael Jordan where I was going to 6 places in 7 days with him, and one of them was China. And at the end of my trip, right before I was supposed to catch my flight, I realized that all of my notes from the trip, I had lost them somewhere. I had turned over the hotel room. And so everything that ESPN had just paid for at the beginning of me, like trying to prove myself at ESPN, I had lost all of my notes to the entirety of the trip and now had to go back to a market in China where no one spoke English in order to try and find where all of my notes were, because I had misplaced the entirety of my notes. And so it would have been the last time that I felt a full-blown just panic where I need, before my flight, I need to find something. And so I'm so elevated that I have a hard time, with clarity and thinking straight, because you don't want to make any decisions while in
Careful
panic.
with those markets in China.
Well, we know it didn't start there, so continue on, play on.
Any panic from you guys? Do you guys have it?
Yeah.
Can you even
Marcel
remember?
Reed's marching down the field.
Yeah, but you know who gave his life for us?
Motore. Yeah. He died for us.
Exactly right.
Anytime you're calling for a video we don't have ready.
I'm looking at preview. Yeah, it's a different sport.
So you guys can't even remember the last times you felt the kind of panic
Sports
I'm
related.
talking about.
No. Like I've never
real
no.
panic, not
No.
nonsense panic.
I haven't lost a dog or a child. I'm usually responsible.
Within the last 6 months, I was driving down to Miami and was in rush hour traffic and felt the turn in your stomach of like, oh, I'm going to have diarrhea. And I'm 30 minutes away. I'm nowhere near an exit. And the panic of just like, you got to hold this in and you got to not have that happen in the car is a real panic that I have felt in the last 6 months. I was sweating.
That's a good one. And if you make me think about it, I have also felt similar panics, as has everyone listening to this, I imagine. That is a
Awful.
panic that anyone can relate to.
Also at the disco.
Actually impressed with Dan.
A couple of stories here that I want to get to in sports that I don't know if people know that Chris Bosh says he nearly passed away in January. He says, I had an episode. I almost dropped dead pretty much and came back to life. I'm not joking. I had another pulmonary embolism. It was in January this past year. I was in the hospital for a week. But take your medicine. So I'm taking my medicine every day, taking care of myself every day and watching it. No symptoms came either. So, yeah, you got to deal with it for the rest of your life. I thought I was past it. I'm not. So I'm just making sure I stay on top of my regimen.
So he stopped taking his meds. That's what it sounds like.
I got lax, as I imagine is pretty easy to do if you've, had a scare and time has gone by and you don't think you're a week away from the blood clots that can kill you. It's still jarring to me to know that LeBron's still playing. And I don't know how you think Chris Bosh's game would have aged, but I'm guessing that Chris Bosh would have, if not for this injury, had the ability to evolve with the sport the way that some of the better shooters in the league as big men have evolved in the sport. And he basically, I'm going to say, lost 10 years of his career while also fighting for his life, because I think he could have played into his late 30s just stretching the floor and being out there at least as long as Dwayne Wade was till the end. So it's still surprising to me to have someone like Chris Bosh be that kind of mortal, that kind of vulnerable, because of, he was one of the highest forms of evolution that you saw in that sport, with the ability to play a game that people his size usually are not able to play.
Not only that, Dan, remember, he got hurt with a core muscle injury and then all of a sudden came back in that Boston series shooting threes. So even in progression from series to series, it was like, boom, he's shooting threes now. We're like, whoa, holy shit.
Chris Bosh, during that last championship run against Boston, bailed them out at home when they were totally scared by making threes that we didn't want him taking a season before that. Like, the whole sport sort of shifted right there with a couple of corner threes that if he misses, Miami loses to Boston, and the blueprint gets broken up as a failure if he doesn't make those threes. Like, famously in a Game 7 against San Antonio, he scored 0 points but secured a big rebound. But that whole blueprint breaks apart in the most fragile of ways if Chris Bosh comes back and doesn't merely have the ability to make corner threes that weren't a part of his game before that playoff series.
The Game 7 against Boston, he had 19 points, and they were all huge because he was kind of struggling up until that point. That Game 7 was sneaky hard. Everybody remembers the LeBron James Game 6 because you want to talk about sheer panic. Yeah. I had panic that entire day. Yeah. I still haven't shit right. I'm not right. It's been like 10 years and I'm still not right from the week that was.
A couple of soccer stories that I want to get to. Pochettino has agreed on a new contract to be the head coach of the men's national team through 2030. Whittingham and others are saying it's the right decision given the commitment shown here by everyone involved. Any objections? Are you hearing any criticism nationally about this?
It's a pretty good job to have if you're Pochettino too. He's getting paid a ton of money, but I'm sure he has language in his contract that should he want to And should another club be interested? Remember, there were reports out there that he was meeting with AC Milan just before the World Cup. That if a club comes a knocking, he may go back to the club game. But right now, those offers aren't there, so it's an easy decision for him. And quite frankly, a pretty easy decision for U.S. men's soccer, too.
The bigger soccer story, and we talked about this briefly last week, and I thought the mainstream media did a really poor job of covering it, given what it is that the story was. But the idea that Infantino and the Trump family were basically working in plain sight to sell a portion of the World Cup for profit in a way that was unseemly triggered such backlash, and it wasn't media backlash. It was not in the States, it wasn't. When I say mainstream media, I should say states, because this was a it was a giant international story. The offense that the rest of the world took to, what do you mean Trump's family is going to be buying a portion of the World Cup? They shamed the unshameable. Infantino has had to walk it all back. I'm sure they'll try to do all sorts of shit in the shadows, but at least publicly, they're not going to get away with selling the World Cup to the Trump family or Trump associates. Infantino evidently is not actually immune to shame. He's not immune to pressure. It stands. What we learned with that Super League is something that now stands, which is European soccer fans have real power. They have more power than baseball fans in this country who don't want that Scooble trade going through. European soccer fans, when they get pissed off, leaders start backpedaling because they know that customer base is passionate enough to withhold its dollars, and it's not to be trifled with.
The only thing close to it that we have in the United States isn't consumer protections. It's not even forms of government. It's SEC message boards and boosters that can stop Greg Schiano from getting hired. Yeah, this is not surprising. What was surprising was it was an all-time heat check from Infantino. But here's what I think is going to end up happening. I think Infantino's going to lose his job because of this. And I think it was so brazen in the Kushner aspect of it. You add a dash of Trump to this, and excuse me, it makes it even way more unpopular. But make no mistake about it, it's not this isn't dead and buried. This is not dead and buried for FIFA. I think part of this, if I were to read into some of the initial statements from CONCACAF and all that, was like, well, we don't like how this went down because there wasn't a bid process. We don't like how this, okay, this is value. We like $40 million. That's a hell of a payout. We can do some form of this, but we don't like Gianni Infantino running the show and negotiating this whole thing in a back room. And I do think it's not the first time they're going to deal with private equity. It's not the first time that they're going to have to come out with strong statements publicly. I think the greatest offense that Gianni Infantino had was not looping everybody in.
Can I request from you guys all of sports names, all of sports history at your disposal? Give me a name that gives off mafia corruption more than Gianni Infantino. Just take all of the names you've ever heard in sports, and I go all in with the name Gianni Infantino is the guy in charge of this. Do you think he's a mafioso who's corrupt? That's his name. His name is Gianni Infantino.
So just Italians.
No, this particular one with Johnny on the front end, because I don't know a lot of
Gianni.
Yeah,
what about Vinny?
But it's not Johnny. It's Gianni.
What about Vinny?
Vinny's pretty good. I don't think Vinny Testaverde is as good as Gianni Infantino in terms of a corrupt mafioso.
But Vinny Pasquantino?
Oh, it is a good one.
When Sepp Blatter's like, this guy's brazen.
Sepp Blatter not, though.
Vince Ferragamo?
Yeah.
Not as good as Johnny.
But Ferragamo's strong.
Ferragamo's pretty strong. Mike mentioned message boards and college football fans. I don't think maybe they're second place, but it's not a particularly close second to the power of the European soccer fan.
No, I think American sports fans should take more of that attitude. They should take more of that attitude. Certainly with the ticketing industry down here, they should do more. They should really threaten people with their dollar. They should really test their voices. We're just so broken by the system over here
The thing that I wanted to bring up, though, that is in front of the outraged Reddit board SEC college football fan is the Save College Sports Act that is presently in front of everybody, because you have a great deal of power and money. And you've got, obviously, with where it is that the rules are and aren't here, you've got a lot of ability to corrupt this, where you have all of this power and money, but not a lot of leadership, not even corrupt leadership, just an absence of leadership that you need around this power and money, so that you don't have Notre Dame sneaking in here to create a system that isn't quite saving college sports.
No, it's saving the Big Ten, SEC, and Notre Dame, because it was written by the Big Ten, SEC, and Notre Dame. So they benefit the most from it. And, yeah, you mentioned Notre Dame. I don't think most people are aware how influential Notre Dame was to this entire process. Notre Dame put in quite the poison pill to protect their interest and hurt other teams. Are you guys aware of this?
No.
So part of the Save College Sports Act bill caps conferences at 19 teams. The Big Ten presently has 18. The ACC, I think, has 17. I think there's 16 in the SEC. All right, that's okay. If these other power programs from other conferences come available, that seems like 5 spots or thereabouts. Here's the poison pill. In order to join a new conference, you need to act independently for 5 years. That wasn't put in there for UConn. You're going to have this open market and conference realignment with one spot in the Big Ten and only one team realistically with the opportunity to move to that conference and get that money and benefit from the rules that the Big Ten is writing for the rest of college football. It's Notre Dame. So, yeah, Miami doesn't like it. And it's got real traction in the Senate. Probably going to die out in the House because they'll run out of time. I mean, hate for the NCAA and college rules seems to be bipartisan, but it's got real momentum with the Senate. I think it puts a lot of teams in a difficult position, not just Miami, because there is a hard cap that will be instituted with no wean-off period, and that leaves about 30 programs well over the cap with no real solution attached to this. If it was written by the Big Ten and SEC and Notre Dame, bet your ass it benefits those conferences and that program the most, and doesn't actually benefit the labor all that much, because they are trying to put forth a CBA that is not actually bargained collectively. The players do not have a representative in the room. When Donald Trump invited all those power brokers from college football for his little conference, they asked the question, why isn't there a player rep here? Oh, there's an agent. There's an agent here. This, like everything else, will be fought, and like everything else, the NCAA will lose, but this is the single biggest threat to the labor and to the other programs that are not lucky enough to be in the Big Ten and SEC or Notre Dame that we've had thus far.
Timofey Mozgov, the Russian mob?
That's pretty good. Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. More corrupt mafioso, Johnny Infantino, just by name. Johnny Infantino or Timothy Mozgov. When you bet your ass, Mike, is that the most valuable thing that a human body can bet? Because do we need to change that expression when you're betting your ass? I feel like it's a major bet to bet your ass, but it's not the most valuable of the body parts, is it?
You can bet your bottom dollar.
You're betting your bottom or your bottom dollar. It's still your ass, though. Like the betting of the ass, I don't understand that. I do understand that expression, but it's not the most valuable of the body parts, right? Like if I said you bet your penis, men would react to that. I'd
rather bet my ass.
It's a smaller bet.
Correct.
A larger bet, but a smaller bet.
Or surface area.
My heart?
No, you want to keep the heart.
That's why I don't want to bet
That's
it.
important.
It's just one of the things when Dan asks us the origin of it's some sort of donkey.
It might be. Let's look that up. And in the interim, Chris Cody has dried his fingers long enough. He has consumed enough sausage here that he wishes to debut a new game. Are you guys ready for a new Chris Cody exclusive game?
Dan, I've been wanting to play this for a while. Michael Wilbon is one of my favorites. So I want to start a new game around here. It's Guess Michael Wilbon's Opinion About This. Now, the first installment today, I will give you the topic, and then we will play the open here. We are going to guess what Michael Wilbon thinks.
Hold on a second. Don't tell us what it's about. Play the open before you tell us what it's about.
Okay.
Time to play a new game. It's sweeping the nation. It's called Guess What Michael Wilbon's Response Will Be to This.
What'd he say?
Shocking opinions. Unexpected answer.
You know about those answers.
Shocking revelation.
You know about those revelations.
I can't believe he said that.
What'd he say?
Today.
That needs to be longer.
Today.
By about 5 more minutes.
We are hearing what he has to say about the Savannah Bananas.
Tony, I'm not acknowledging that banana stuff. I'm not. They can sell out Wrigley Field from now until the cows come home.
Yeah.
I'm not down with that.
You'd be the only one.
Look up Cows Come Home. All right, I love this segment.
We need to leave a little more space, though, there for us to guess on the subject
Michael
matter.
Wilbon, not surprising you at all.
Shocking opinion.
It could have been anything because he said the bananas, so we don't know what that meant.
I love it.
Unexpected answer.
Yeah.
But it's not
But
at
it's
all.
always expected.
It's the
Stay tuned.
But he doesn't surprise you at all with his opinion. And he blames other people, and he's like an old man yelling at cloud.
But there needed to be more of a pause. There needs to be more. We need to set up the subject matter for the audience and then together not be shocked at all. We don't have to take all of the sting out of it immediately by having him object the same way he always does to mascots.
Shocking opinions.
He's got no time for nonsense. He works in the industry of fun and games, but Wilbon is against mascots and people having fun at games.
So Till the Cows Come Home is because of the slow plot back to the milking shed. And if you look for the origin of You Bet Your Ass, it comes from bottom dollar, change to bottom, change to ass. There's also Bet Your Bippy, as we know from one David Sampson. Also Yoshinobu Yamamoto for the Yakuza.
Unexpected answer.
Doesn't know his elbow from his asshole.
What?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's true.
Catching it straight on a podcast, you can at least invite me on and tell me.
If anybody knows 2 things about me, number 1, I'm not a cuck, and number 2, I always tell the truth. Even when I lie, I always tell the truth.
Tony, who doesn't know his elbow from his asshole.
What was the context there?
I don't know. I do 3 different shows. I do this show, I do Zaslow Show 2.0, and I do ESPN Radio. I can't keep track of
And
what
Mystery
I said
Crate.
on each. And 4.
Yeah.
And Mystery Crate.
But the Bolivian cut is Zaslow Show 2.0.
Yes.
That is the Zaz talking
do
to
what I
nobody
want.
else, which is why he's developed. It's become his personality. The reason why he creates all these different voices, and he's having a conversation with himself.
Yeah.
And so he has like these really eccentric parts of his personality that are essentially a cast. Yeah. It's a one-man ensemble. It's great. I'm a big fan. And when you said Tony doesn't know his elbow from his asshole, I'm like, all right, I'm in. But then you started going down your review of the Odyssey, and I was familiar with some of the takes.
What a movie.
But then I found out you were a racist.
What?
Yeah, you were a racist.
Why would you say that?
Yeah, now I could be mishearing
Why
things.
would you say it?
Yeah, why would you
Why
be
would
a
you
racist?
say that?
Why are you a racist, dog?
Why are you making things up?
All right, so for the audience, we did clip this section where,
You
Zach-
better not be taking me out of context here.
No,
If
no,
you're
no.
gonna play
I'm
something,
applying all the context I possibly can. I wasn't in
right.
charge of grabbing the context.
All right.
But I was in charge of being the driving force of calling you a racist.
So what am I talking about here?
Play the clip.
People are having a go at the movie for 2 reasons. Number 1, for Lupita Nyong'o, who is playing Helen of Troy, who, is white in, I guess, the other writings of the book, in the writing of the book and maybe in the other movies, that Helen of Troy is white. And in this, Lupita Nyong'o is obviously black. You get the whole discussion of should a black actor be playing a white person? Should a white person be playing a black actor? Although it's never that other way, right? It's never the white person playing the black person. It's a black person playing the white person. And then everybody freaks out and gets upset about that. It's really stupid.
So it sounds like you're disappointed that John Cusack isn't playing Shaft.
No.
Yeah, it does.
No.
I heard racism.
I'm disappointed that people are mad that Lupita Nyong'o is playing Helen of
No,
Troy.
it feels like, but, you never see, the white guy playing, T'Challa.
That's not at all what I said
Where's
there.
Jacob Elordi playing Black
That's
Panther?
not at all what was said there.
And also, it just shows an ignorance to the history of cinema. There are examples. The Jazz Singer. There is a movie where John Wayne plays Genghis Khan. Jack Palance played Fidel Castro.
And now let me ask you, did people get mad?
No.
That's the point.
Not at the time. Well,
That's
no,
the
no,
point.
no. White people didn't get mad.
That's the point.
But there were aggrieved parties.
That's the point.
No, but it didn't seem like the
We're
point.
on the same side here.
It's not just the
you?
point, it's the presentation, though.
It's a
because
presentation.
The way that you said it
presented
did
like a
confuse
racist.
Mike, because what you said was like, it's never the black people playing the white people.
Guy never
Who's
watched
the white people
Gandhi?
playing the black people?
Hold on a second.
You know about Gandhi?
Hold on a second. Jeremy, who's that supposed to be?
That was an awful Zaslow.
I don't know who's supposed to be.
It's really stupid.
Hey, make sure you're not late. It's time for Zaslow's World Cuck update.
I mean, I don't know what that was. Trying to do a World Cup update. What the hell you doing there? I do have a few more things I want to say, Dan, as far as the World Cup is concerned. Now, because yesterday was the final round of 16 game. You know what comes next? You know what's next after round of 16?
I cannot believe how electric this World Cup has been.
It really has
So
been.
good.
We finally have the good matches that give life to this being one of the greatest tournaments of all time. We were missing those bangers. And Argentina in back-to-back matches give us instant classic after instant classic.
The Cabo Verde game was insane.
Against all-time African underdogs. They run up against the greatest player at the tail end of his career, still having enough for one last
Mike,
job.
let me tell you what, that 13 on Cabo, what a shot.
This is incredible.
Shot of the tournament.
A
Did you see it
world-
bend?
And how about those fans?
Did you see
It
it
was
bend,
a
Dan?
literal movie.
It was crazy.
He runs into the sand,
Gets
finds
over.
his lady.
Boom.
That's how you end the movie, folks. That is
He was looking,
unbelievable.
and the security was like, no, go back. And he's
That's
like, no,
love.
no, where is she?
That's love right there.
She's got to know also to come down the stairs. What are you doing?
I'm the one who's doing this.
Your second topic, Zaz. Do you have another World Cup topic?
Well, I'll tell you what. All right, I don't know why you're saying it like that. But anyway, I have other things that I want to talk about. You know what? You can't take this away from me. I don't know if you saw this past Monday night.
CM Punk returns to WWE. After months away and all sorts of rumor and innuendo, he's not on the right side with TKO, comes back in his hometown of Chicago and beats Sami Zayn, whose title reign lasts about a week. Much fanfare in Chicago.
CM Punk related to Daft Punk at all?
No, not at all.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but CM
Daft Punk's good, though.
Not unlike Messi, later in his career, finding top form, his body looking incredible. You know what this might set up? Cody Rhodes versus CM Punk at SummerSlam.
Greg Cody Rhodes.
I'm going to SummerSlam. I want to talk about this.
Well done, Jeremy.
Your third topic, Zaslow, of this World Cup update.
You know what? Actually, I'll allow you to call it that here because there's a movie that just came out that I want to watch. It's by our pal Billy Corbin. It's called God
That's
Forbid.
not just coming out. It's the most popular documentary in the history of Hulu.
Just came out.
No, I mean,
Dan,
it was
you saw the movie. What did you think?
It was excellent.
Why don't you have a turn here?
It went.
You got a pre-screening?
It went deeper into religious power and cuckery than I've ever seen a documentary. I didn't get an advanced screening.
How cliche, a pool boy.
This movie, and distinctly Cuban pool boy. Like, just not actually a pool man, a very pool boy. A Cuban kid who's not fully grown up, who was having sex with the wife of Jerry Falwell's sons, the president of Liberty University, his wife, and he liked to watch it in a corner of the room while he was wearing very little clothing.
This is why it's called World Cup.
All right, get back in this seat here. Get back in the seat here that is a prominently featured seat. That concludes our I want to play again for the audience after this Scooble trade that has a whole lot of people throughout baseball and even outside of baseball. Really a seismic kind of trade, unusual in a lot of different ways, but chief among them, I just don't see many trades anywhere that get the attention of all sports fans, whether you like baseball or not, claiming unfairness about something. It's just not something we see very often. And we played those ads recently where baseball is getting out in front with the propaganda. This sport is going to lock out. There will be a work stoppage. It will not be avoided. And again, baseball fans, just as they got everything fixed, will be disappointed about the fighting over money. But let's just play one of those ads that's unlike any ad I've ever seen a sports league put together.
Like to see a little bit more parity, man, a little bit more competition.
Let's give these young guys like a salary floor.
100% needs a salary cap. That's the biggest issue in baseball right now.
You got a loaded team like the Dodgers going against teams that don't have any big names.
It needs to be more equitable.
Just imbalanced big time when it comes to big market, small market.
NBA, NHL, and football, it seems to be more competitive.
A small market could compete because all the teams would have a cap.
I think the Reds would have a better chance to win if the salary cap was implemented.
If it's fair, it's more competitive, fun for baseball.
All the teams being competitive and being able to have a fun season.
Does that commercial land exactly the same way if one play goes differently in last year's World Series and Toronto wins the World Series? One play, any place in the 7 games goes differently, or in the last game. The Blue Jays are your champion with what kind of payroll? Certainly a payroll smaller than Boston and New York's in their own division, correct?
So, last year, it was smaller than New York, but more than Boston. Because remember, Boston has sort of been shedding payroll over the last 5 years. Toronto had a top 5 payroll. It was still $100 million less than the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Do you guys think the conversation is the same? They can air that commercial if the Blue Jays win the World Series?
Yes. Yep. Yeah, I don't think that changes much. I think 80% of baseball fans is a very strong number that are in support of a salary cap. I just find it really funny that billionaires are using the consumer and this movement to cap wages to attack the millionaires.
Seattle Mariners, Greg Cody owes us a walk from here to Seattle because he didn't think that there was a way that the Seattle Mariners wouldn't be in that World Series after they came back from the Blue Jays came back from down 2-0. If the Mariners had won the World Series last year, it all lands the same?
You're looking at a one-year outlier. You're still looking at a World Series that featured the LA Dodgers. I think.
Yeah, but I'm looking at a World Series that featured the LA Dodgers, who could have lost and should have lost to the Padres. They should, and the Padres also spend plenty.
That is a super majority when it comes to fans' opinion. It's not gonna change things all that much. You'll go from 80% to 74%.
I just know that the Marlins have a chance, and they just swamped the Mets, and the Mets don't have a chance, and the Mets are spending as much as anybody. Like the Mets have a payroll that rivals anybody's payroll outside of the Dodgers.
It's the thing about baseball, and it's why the Dodgers have become what they are, is because if you run your team well and you run your farm system well, you can continuously win. Look at the Brewers, look at the Guardians, look at any example of these small market teams that continue to succeed, the Rays. The problem has been ultimately winning the entire thing. They might win their league. They get to the World Series, they lose. The Guardians lost to the Cubs. The Rays back in the day. The Rays lost to the Dodgers in 2020, which was a shortened season that nobody really remembers. The Dodgers won that World Series.
The Tigers could have won the whole thing last year, and they had a payroll that can't afford Scooble.
Yep, and the Dodgers are the Rays. They're run by Andrew Friedman.
Well, that's
their
the thing.
farm system is immaculate.
That's the thing, though. The Mets are run poorly. Look, man, one of the great stunning things of my lifetime is that Brian Cashman is still allowed to run the Yankees when they haven't won the World Series in 17 years. Like, What the hell is that? Like that team has never allowed that kind of patience with that kind of money from its leader. They'll get to the playoffs, but they never win the World Series because it's hard to win the World Series. We'll get back to this in a second, but Amin El-Hassan is with us now, and we've got some weekend observations to get to with Amin. I also want to find out, my friends can't get into Spider-Man here. It's all sold out. Spider-Man is sold out here locally, at least in
Your
part,
movie friends?
because theaters have closed down, so there aren't that many theaters where it is that you can still see some of this. The one that I would go to if I were interested in these kinds of movies, which I'm not, no longer is open, but Spider-Man is doing monster business. I mean, do you care?
Yeah, I went and saw Spider-Man on Saturday with my kids, and to get tickets, I mean, I live in a place where there are 3 mega theaters within about 3 miles of my house, and every single one of them had 8 billion showings of Spider-Man, both laser, 3D, IMAX, all that stuff, and every single showing was either sold out or like the front row was the only thing that was available. Finally got 4 tickets side by side for a 10:40 a.m. showing on Saturday. That's how hard it was to get to see Spider-Man.
Can you guys look up some numbers for me? I thought this was kind of dead. I know that Top Gun is something that got people back to the theaters. The Odyssey is getting people back to the theaters. But is Spider-Man going to end up dwarfing everything? Because I have not heard all theaters sold out and no one can get into a movie unless it's bad seats, front seats, or bad times.
The one thing I am seeing, at least by the Regal by me and Mike, is the one that they've actually done it to where the seats themselves are smaller, right? There's not as many seats in the auditorium as there used to be. There's like maybe 20 or 30 seats now. So I'm looking at, there's 47 different showings, and like Amin said, yeah, like the only stuff that's available is the front row, unless you want to do 10:30.
Is this the biggest opening ever? Like, is this
because
I thought this was all dead. I thought this could never happen again at
$360 million opening weekend. It beat Avengers Endgame. It's, according to the Hollywood Reporter, the top opening weekend ever.
So what's happening there on the general idea that Spider-Man is connecting, obviously, across generations in a way that all the other movies can't?
Spider-Man had a huge resurgence, too, with younger people. Young people freaking love Spider-Man. So you get your core audience that's going to be in on Marvel no matter what, but this new generation is certainly pushing it, I mean.
Yeah, and I think, one of the things about Spider-Man is it is a franchise that has done well. They've put out solid entries every single time. So even if you're not caught up with the MCU, you're not a Marvel Comics fan, you go to a Spider-Man movie, you're going to get a good movie. You're going to get a good movie that's entertaining, that's funny, that's good action, that's got some heart to it. Tom Holland is one of the biggest stars in the world. Zendaya is one of the biggest stars in the world. And I think I know Mike disagrees with me. I think they totally landed the plane with this. By the way, $360 million domestic, $927 million worldwide for the opening weekend. That is an absurd number. They almost hit $1 billion on opening weekend. This is, by the way, the worst possible thing for Hollywood because it just reinforces in their minds the idea that every movie has to be a franchise and every movie has to have existing IP, and there is no space for a regular small movie with, good characters and actors that are maybe not the biggest stars in the world.
Yeah, it's tough because all the lessons from the Odyssey probably go out the window as execs just look at the success of the existing IP in Spider-Man. But I seem to be the only person on the planet that didn't really rate the movie all that much, and it's a global sensation. I think one thing that we're overlooking is just how strong generationally the IP of Spider-Man has just become.
Are you
Mike,
guys? Sorry, are you guys
No,
of the opinion that Spider-Man is the biggest of all of these things? That if I tell you,
it connects with younger people in more profound ways than Batman does. Yeah. I think it has become, Spider-Man has become the tentpole intellectual property when it comes to comic books, because the cartoons are great. You have Miles Morales. It hits different demos. It hits different ethnicities. Spider-Man is just such a massive piece of America, and they've done a really good, Disney in particular has done a really good job with that IP in making sure it's become the biggest possible thing.
And I would also throw in, like, the thing about Spider-Man, the character, and I think of myself as a kid reading the comic books. All the other superheroes were like saving the world from this impending disaster. I mean, whether you're talking about Superman or Batman on the DC side or on the Marvel side, the Avengers, or Iron Man, or any of those guys, Captain America. When you talk about Spider-Man, it's like he's literally your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. He's like he lives here. He lives in Queens. Spider-Man, Peter Parker's broke. Like every other superhero, they don't have any like real world problems. Spider-Man was like the first comic book character. Like, he has real world problems, dude. Like, he can't pay his rent. His boss hates him. Like, his girlfriend is on again, off again. And then also he has to save the city and regular citizens from these crazy lunatics, the Sinister Syndicate, or whatever you want to call it. So I think there's something about Spider-Man that's, I know Dan won't agree to this, but it's very grounded as a superhero. It's like, yeah, this guy has real world problems beyond I must save everyone.
Wait a minute, though. You say that I won't agree with this when what you guys are saying is making me think weirdly that the greatest of the superhero characters that connect with people enough to save not just communities, but the movies, are the two superheroes who are almost most human. It's Batman and Spider-Man. Now, Spider-Man, obviously, the swinging through cities with webs isn't very human, but among superhero talents and abilities, these guys are the two most human of the popular superheroes, are they not? And they've got the two most popular franchises.
Right, but he's identifiable. Peter Parker is more identifiable than Bruce Wayne, because Bruce Wayne ultimately is a billionaire, whereas all the things that Amin highlighted is why so many people connect to the character. This guy gets bullied in high school. This guy's main persona gets trampled at work.
And he continues. He continues to get bullied. Like, it's not like, oh, now I'm strong, I'll beat up all the bullies, this won't happen. Like, he still kind of like gets the short end of the stick in his everyday life. Dude, what are you doing, Dache? But you know, it is, that's what grounds him, right? In a way that Bruce Wayne can never. Because at the end of the day, we're all going to say, yeah, but you're a billionaire. Like, oh, I'm sad my parents died. Yeah, but like, that happened a long time ago, dude. You were a kid when it happened. Come on. Like, you're fine. You got billions of dollars. You got supermodels and jets and boats and stuff like that. And also, by the way, Batman, not for nothing, kind of like takes out petty criminals with a zeal and a zest that makes me question, like, hey, what's going on with this guy?
Poor people.
You have billions of dollars, and you're going to take out some guys that are trying to rob a bank? Hey, how about you take out, like, oh, I don't know, some of the ills of society, like homelessness?
There's this billionaire tax bracket in Gotham. Got to take out the mayor. Don't like him.
Put it on the poll. Does Batman take out the common criminal with a zeal that makes you question him? Yes or no? At Le Batard Show. I mean, how long do you think you could keep your left arm over your head?
My left arm over my head?
Yeah.
Probably for the end of this segment. Like, how high? Like here? Or like,
yeah, up high. I don't think you can do it till the end of the segment. You think you can do this? No, there's no way you're going to do it till the end of the segment. But let's go ahead and start the weekend observations with Amin and see how long he can hold that arm up before it gets tired, because I'm going to say 5 minutes.
It is time for
Amin
to share his game notes. No one in the media will tell you what happened better than my boy.
Amin.
Weekend Observations is brought to you by Miller Lite. Legendary moments start with a light. Dan, MLB trade season is a buzzing. A time where teams try to beef up their lineups or shore up their bullpens. Trying to make the leap from pretenders to contenders with a single acquisition. Or if you're the Los Angeles Dodgers, mess up everyone else's day by acquiring a heavily sought-after player that they really don't need. Come on, baseball. I feel like Aaron Paul in Breaking Bad. They can't keep getting away with this. Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, Shohei. Now they get Screwball. They didn't need any of these franchise centerpiece players, folks. They just did it because they could. Top 5 things the Dodgers don't need but will acquire anyway. Number 5, the last couple of AAA batteries for your remote control. You ever had that, Dan? Like the remote battery's dying and like you're searching and searching. You find one, but you never find 2. That's because the Dodgers got them. Number 4, the only compatible kidney your Nana needs for her transplant operation. Number 3, the leftover Chinese food you had in the work fridge that you had your name on, you were counting on for lunch, but when you open it up at lunchtime, it's gone. Number 2, James Harden. And the number 1 thing the Dodgers don't need but will acquire anyway, the last Miller Lite in the cooler at the cookout.
I've put Amin in the bad position of having to use one hand to read through his notes. I'm sorry I did that to you, Amin. How's that arm? How's that arm feeling right now? Is it all right?
Feels fine.
Okay.
It feels fine. I'm in New York City, Dan, to record PTFO. As per usual, I have no idea what it's about. All I know is if you're Kawhi Leonard or Chauncey Billups or Terry Rozier or Adam Silver, you should probably tune in. Terry Rozier. Lawyers claim that a text from co-conspirator De Niro Laster and an unnamed recipient should exonerate Rozier from any implication in the gambling scheme. Allegedly, Laster texted someone, "Don't tell Chum," Rozier's nickname, about the bet. The unnamed recipient replied, "Hell no." Then the Dodgers bet the under. God damn it, Andrew Friedman. Is there anything you'll leave for us? Silence. Jacob Mizrowski pitched 7 innings with 10 strikeouts and gave up only 2 hits and 2 earned runs. Nobody beats the Miz. Well, unless you're the worst team in Major League Baseball, then you might beat him in that game. How crazy is that? The Angels, they shut him out.
Yeah.
What's the guy got to do? It feels like the world, or at least the internet world, is consumed with Sophie Cunningham's opinions on transgender athletes. Instead of asking themselves, why is Sophie Cunningham a voice of importance? All this focus on Sophie Cunningham is the equivalent of the NBA being obsessed with Aaron Wiggins. What are we doing here?
Andrew.
No, there's a guy called Aaron Wiggins.
Used to play for the Thunder.
That's
That's
a
Andrew
fine
Wiggins
for both of
yeah.
you guys.
Aaron Wiggins is no longer.
We had the wrong B-roll.
But who was obsessed with Aaron Wiggins? I just saw a picture of Andrew Wiggins show up on my screen.
That's the point. Sophie
our
Cunningham
fault.
is basically Aaron Wiggins, the less famous Wiggin.
Thank you. Thank you, Tony, for being a ball knower.
Thank you, bro. Sorry. That's crazy.
They put
Dan,
up a
I'm not
picture of
disappointed in
Andrew
you.
Wiggins. They put up the picture on the screen was of Andrew Wiggins. It
Our
wasn't
fault.
Of
Fall
Aaron
off us,
Wiggins.
not
Can't see the
Amin.
screen. Can't see the screen. All I'm telling you is that Aaron Wiggins has career averages of like 8 points a game, just like Sophie Cunningham. Can you imagine if we were all just obsessed with what did Aaron Wiggins say today? And like a bunch of like press conference questions all aimed at Aaron Wiggins. And then we got to ask like Atlanta star player Jalen Johnson, yo, what do you think of Aaron Wiggins? Like, it'd be insane. But that's what we're doing here with Sophie Cunningham. Kelsey Plum traded to the Phoenix Mercury after only a season and a half with the Sparks. She's averaging a career-best 24 points per game, the highest scoring average for a player traded midseason in WNBA history. Surprised the Dodgers didn't pick her up. Like, what are you waiting for, Andrew Friedman? Like, oh, I could use Kelsey Plum. Why? I don't know. Just because. Cinephobe episode 319, American Ninja 4. Starring Michael Dudikoff, but not Steve James. Can we really call an American Ninja movie an American Ninja movie if the American Ninja, Steve James, is not in the American Ninja movie? I say no. Cinephobe, wherever you get podcasts. Gianni Infantino. In the span of about 10 days, went from almost making an obscene amount of money by selling all parts of FIFA to having his career being on life support. Good riddance. Can't wait for whoever is even more corrupt and has even less scruples to take over. That weird? Like, we're like, get him out of here. Like, the next guy's going to be any better. The next guy's going to be worse. Has to be, right?
No, it can't be. How much worse can it be? How much,
always get worse, Dan.
How much worse can it possibly be?
Can't get fooled again.
How much worse can it possibly be than trying to sell 20% of something that's not for sale to the Trump family?
Sell 100% of it.
Exactly.
The next
Stop
guy's
sending
name.
me
The next guy's name that is a leading contender to take his job, Victor Montagliani.
Get that arm up. I see it getting weaker. Get that shoulder up.
Sorry. Stop sending me American Ninja Warrior reels on IG. Someone who spends their entire lives trading for this shit did better than I did as a 40-year-old 7 years ago? Color me impressed. Sorry, I've led a full and meaningful life while other people are surrounded by obstacle courses in those foam cubes for 16 hours a day. Ridiculous. All right, so we're on the topic of John Infantino and soccer and everything. The big story, obviously, is Vinny Jr. for Real Madrid. Is he going to get transferred or not? Is he going to get transferred to Arsenal? And I'm wondering how many people are going to connect the dots and realize Arsenal's failure to acquire Vinny Jr. so far is all Sam Presti's fault. You guys know about this?
No.
No one? Okay, fine. I'll do it. Keep your third eye open, folks. Buckle up. So Vinny's rumored transfer fee would be around $175 million. That would be the third highest in the history of soccer, right? Arsenal is owned by the Kroenke family, who also own the Denver Nuggets. The Denver Nuggets payroll is currently the second highest in the NBA with an estimated tax bill of $33 million. They're firmly in second apron territory, and that's without having given a contract offer to Peyton Watson. The reason they're in the second apron without Peyton Watson's salary is because they have to match an offer sheet that Spencer Jones got worth 2 years and $11.75 million. Now, I know what you're thinking. That's not that much money. Yeah, well, the reason Spencer Jones got that offer sheet is because Sam Presti extended that offer sheet despite having a bunch of luxury tax issues of his own. And the reason Sam Presti did that was clearly because he's a Tottenham fan or some shit, and he hates Arsenal. What a magnificent hater, because he tendered a contract offer to Spencer Jones, who most people couldn't pick out in a lineup. That has put Denver in a payroll situation where they're going to go crazy to the tax to keep Peyton Watson, who they actually like, and that, as a result, has shortened the cash flow that they have available to pay for Vinny to go from Madrid to Arsenal. Keep your third eye open, folks.
Why, while you were talking about that, did the video team choose to put up the arms of Arnold Schwarzenegger and Carl Weathers muscularly shaking hands for 12 seconds in Predator?
Because I'm not done. Because I'm not done. You have to respect it. That hater move. As a fellow hater, I love it. I want to dap Sam Presti up and call him a son of a bitch while our biceps flex and glisten.
There you go. That explains why that was up on the screen before it should have been.
I shouldn't have explained it. I should have just let it sit there, and then it would have been our little joke. Here's the Science, a bar rescue podcast. Hosted by Chelsea Reynolds, a real-life bar and restaurant consultant. Colin Cassard, a real-life veteran of the commercial kitchen and food truck scene in Portland. And two guys who will gladly forego an obstacle course in favor of getting a cold one, me and Zach Harper. Here's the Science, wherever you get podcasts. Also, live watch-alongs every Monday.
That arm's getting tired. That arm's getting tired. Admit
no,
that.
It's the scrolling. It's
I know,
the scrolling.
but just admit that
impressed. This is hard.
It is impressive, but admit that it's getting a little fatigued. I can see it dropping, and I understand why it's dropping. It's harder than it looks. It's harder than I thought it was before I tried it.
How long did you last?
About this long.
Yeah, convenient. All right. Last week on Here's the Science, we reviewed the episode of the Tonic Lounge in Portland. A bar that had an insect infestation both in their kitchen and in their liquor bottles, and mushrooms in their walk-in freezer that would have made Wemby look like Brad Williams. Massive mushrooms. It's the literal bar from hell. Speaking of hell, Argentina, those are the weekend observations.
So keep your arm up here till the end of the segment. Only 13 minutes left in the segment here. Bam Adebayo has said to the Sun Sentinel, oh, look, they found the Indian gentleman whose arm was locked above his head for many, many years.
Since 1973.
because I was arguing, Amin, that this is much harder than many people think, and I don't think that most people could do it for 24 hours. Just having done it for the last 5 minutes, do you think that there are many people?
5 minutes? Are you out of your mind? It's not been 5 minutes.
You started at 7.
Like 10 minutes.
It's been 10 minutes.
Okay.
It's not been 5 minutes.
It's been about as long as I did it for.
No, I don't believe that either.
Yeah.
I don't believe that either.
That feels right.
It seems mathematically,
You held it up a little longer, actually.
Scientifically, it might have been a little bit longer.
Yeah.
But
We're in give or take territory.
I love how Amin won't give us, though, that it's like hurting at all. He's like, no, I'm good. This is 100%. Not feeling anything.
He's also never been hungover.
I've never been hungover. That's true. Well, once. I think I had one hangover one time. It was New Year's Eve, but if I described to you how much I had that night, it would be like, yo, why weren't you hospitalized? It was crazy.
Outside of the Indian gentleman whose arm got stuck in that position because he had it over his head since 1973, do you believe there is anybody who could do that for 24 hours? I mean, given your last 10 minutes or about as long as I did it for.
I mean, again, like people who surround themselves with obstacle courses and train for it, sure. But like if you're a regular person, 24 hours seems a little bit like not quite likely.
Bam Adebayo says to the Sun Sentinel, we'll figure it out. We don't really worry about the outside noise too much. We've done a lot more with less. That last sentence. We've done a lot more with less than having Giannis Antetokounmpo. He's got it right?
Yes. Giannis is the most talented player they've had since LeBron James. Like, that's not – give me someone else who's more talented than Giannis.
No, he's one of the most talented players, top 5, that they've ever had wear the uniform. And that's that's why you trade anything you have anything and everything you have in order to get into that game. Because there are how many of those players in the league? Give me a number. How many players in the league are there? Pat Riley said he's a top 5 player in the league, but give me a number of players that you would say are the player that Giannis still is right now.
I would probably say 5 to 7.
Are you going to hold up for the next 10 minutes? Do you think you're going to be able to do this without a problem for the next 10 minutes, or are you losing steam on your arm?
No, and because it's like my hand is starting to get tingly, and I'm worried about that.
Okay.
Like,
we'll let you go on that note. We'll call it.
Okay.
Happy Bam Day.
Yeah, Dan did it longer. Way longer.
No, he didn't.
A little bit
I'm still going. I still haven't quit.
I did it a little longer than that, though. Whenever it is you stop,
No.
I did it a little bit, just a little bit longer. Not very.
Couple seconds.
Just a couple seconds longer.
Well, here's the deal.
You're at 4 minutes.
I'm going to leave. You guys are going to do your show, whatever. I'm not putting my arm down.
Okay.
How about that? It's just going to be up this whole time.
I want to play for you a video real quick of something that happened before you leave. Are you interested? A couple of videos, actually, if I can. I want to get the video ready of what that person should have done, I believe, in an elevator with a stray dog. Amin would have been mortified as someone who doesn't want stray dogs around him. But would you like to see the world record for the largest hula hoop ever done successfully? Would you like to see the world record? Yeah. Pablo Torre said it this weekend. Let's look at this. Here is some B-roll here.
It does look like Pablo.
What can't he do?
How heavy is it?
He's going to do it successfully, though. For those of you who do not have video, how large would you say that hula hoop is?
I don't know. Like I want to say, like bigger than the circle at midcourt of an NBA.
What you'd imagine like a large above ground pool.
Yeah. Batting circle.
Yeah.
Batting circle.
Dude, batting circle. Way.
The on deck circle.
No, not the on deck circle.
The size of a
actual, no, what home plate is, the batting circle.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant like,
what's the matter with you?
But I was
like
thinking
the dirt around home plate. Okay.
The other video I want to show you, Amin, is just I did not know that my dog could get away. I want to show you this video of what happened here when my dog gets on the elevator. The elevator cannot move, should not move until someone else calls it. Obviously, the dog can't leave and press the buttons. But what happens here is a man gets on at a lower floor. What would you do, Amin, if the doors opened on the 3rd floor and this is what greeted you on the third floor when the doors open, a human being, what would you do in that situation?
Is every unit in your building where the elevator just opens up into the unit?
No.
Or okay. So I would just kind of like sidestep the dog. And then as soon as the door opened, I'd just try to leave. Yeah. I'd just do what that guy just did.
Okay. All right. So you wouldn't alert
In that
anybody?
guy's defense, he could have, when he got out there, be like, hey, dog. Someone's dog.
No, he didn't do that because I have the rest of the video. Do you guys have any alerts? Like, would you alert anybody? I mean, would you tell anybody that there's just a dog wandering around here?
I mean, if I saw someone at the desk, I'd be like, hey, man, there's a dog here. But that's about it. That's the extent of my responsibility.
So you'd let the dog wander into the street, you'd open the door and let the dog go out with you into traffic, and that would be the extent of your...
I wouldn't open the door. I'm not a doorman. I'm not going to open the door for the dog. But if I leave and the dog follows me outside, man, that ain't my problem.
But you ain't stopping the dog from going outside. You're going to allow the dog to go outside.
Not my dog. Not my dog, Dan. I just talk to it and touch it, and then it bites me. No, I'm not doing that.
All right. Thank you, Amin. Thank you for nothing.
All right.
Dan, that's called NMP. That's what we call around here, NMP. Not my problem. Somebody else's problem, not mine, though.
Yeah, it became my problem. It obviously became my problem.
His arm is still up.
You got to make it more winded. I was super winded because I was... I was super winded. That's right. I have a handful of football stories I want to put in front of you guys. It's a literal handful. But before I do that, I want to put a baseball story that I don't think many people are talking about or anybody is talking about. Harrison Bader of the San Francisco Giants has the rare instance of the team is not paying him, and these contracts tend to be guaranteed in baseball, but the Giants are saying, we are simply not paying you because you got into a scooter accident. I think this detail is important. A couple of details here that are important. You got into a scooter accident at 2 a.m. So when I say that, all of you, a scooter accident is one thing. When I make it 2 a.m., I think all of you have a different substance flowing through his system just because it's 2 a.m. But the other detail, another important detail, is that this is Harrison Bader's second such scooter accident. He had another one in Gainesville, and the San Francisco Giants are saying, not paying you. Now, these contracts have in it certain things that you're not allowed to do. I remember one time Moises Alou came back and was hurt from the Dominican Republic, and he said he was hurt falling off of a treadmill training. I don't think that's how he got hurt. It was in his contract that there are other ways he couldn't get hurt. One of them was not training on a treadmill, so he said he got hurt on a treadmill. Bader cannot be on a scooter and get into this accident contractually without the Giants saying, we're going to take your money. But here's the part to me that is the reason they're taking his money. He's hitting 170, and his OPS is 550. And they gave him 2 years and $20 million.
Tony Romo situation?
And he has stunk. No, not quite. It's kind of.
Gasi.
Romo hits better than 170.
Romo also makes $18 million for 1 year. It's not 2 years, $20 million. They weren't expecting that much from Harrison Bader. What they were expecting is no scooter accidents at 2 a.m. It is really rare for them to take guaranteed money. And Harrison Bader just lost his money because he's been a bad baseball player for the Giants. And also you can't do that at 2 a.m. contractually. There's all sorts of stuff in these contracts where these guys can't like go parasailing or can't ride things like scooters, mopeds, or motorcycles because they run the risk of affecting their guaranteed money.
I feel like my guy just has a passion for scooting. Nope. I feel bad for him.
Oh, he's a scooter? Can you look up for me, Jeremy, the details on his other scooter accident in Gainesville? Didn't he run into a fire truck or something?
So he ran into a fire truck in this one. He ran into a fire engine, which then rolled over the foot that was already injured. He had plantar fasciitis in his left foot. That was why he'd missed time. So, they're really concerned long-term about this. The other one was indeed an alcohol-related scooter incident. While he was a sophomore at UF, he was suspended for 19 games. I will find specifically what he ran into there.
The other one was the alcohol-related one.
Yeah, the other
one.
What do you guys think? If I just say to you, no other details, someone ran into a fire truck on a scooter at 2 a.m. I give you no other details other than that. You're assuming he's drunk, right? You're just assuming it.
Context clues.
Which is it? Is it the 2 a.m. or is it the fire truck?
The scooter.
Really?
Yeah, we used to have them all over the place. Mike, you freaking around the same places I do. No more scooters anymore. No birds, no limes, no nothing. Because everybody used to get, charged up, and then all of a sudden, hey, I'm going to get on the scooter, dude. That's a sick idea. Let's go.
He hit a curb and then struck a parked pickup truck on his motorized scooter at 2 a.m.,
Those damn
which led
curbs.
to a hospitalization and that 19-game suspension. That's in college. Over 10 years ago. Now he did it again.
Fool can't get fooled again.
Do you guys believe that Harrison Bader will ever ride a scooter again?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, clearly.
Yeah.
No.
You got to get a driver and hop on back and hold him from around the waist.
Dual scooter?
You say clearly, Jeremy. I don't think he learned it the first time. I think he has now learned it. He didn't learn it as a sophomore in college. He has now learned it. I believe that he now has an allergy to scooters. This is cursed scooter luck. You go ahead and give me all the people in the history of scooters and people that you know to have gotten into two of these accidents, one of them costing him millions of dollars. You don't get into two scooter accidents. Once you've gotten into the second scooter accident and it's cost you perhaps the rest of your major league career because you were already hurt and already a failure with the Giants, and now the Giants are taking a fairly extraordinary step. These are two San Francisco teams that have now done this. The 49ers did it to Ayuk, and now the Giants are saying, hey, give us our money back. This guaranteed money, give it back.
That substation. Something's going on there.
Dog, how does a head coach get hurt too?
I saw that not a whole lot of people were doing with Kyle Shanahan what it is that we were doing on not believing his story.
Yes. What we were doing.
You believe I'm the only one who was not believing his story?
You just said not many people were doing what we were doing, and that's an interesting way to frame it.
Wait, what'd you do?
This ain't a Rico situation, Jack.
I just didn't believe that Kyle Shanahan, in explaining himself, did himself any favors in getting us closer to the truth. I think we were further from the truth after his explanation than we were when we started.
Asshole. Nice hat, asshole. Nice hat, asshole.
You have a hat, right? In order to disguise his baldness.
You're bald.
Zaslow wears the cap.
You're bald. I'm not into fashion. Bald people. You're bald.
Nice hat, asshole.
What kind of way to greet me is that?
You're so bald that people are comfortable telling you upon greeting you that you need to do something with your appearance.
So you can't do the plugs and the dye. You got to pick one.
People aren't still doing toupees, are they?
Oh, yeah, they are.
Nice hat, asshole.
Fake hair toupee.
Nice hat, asshole.
He looks bad without a hat.
Nice hat, asshole.
Bald capital B.
Nice hat, asshole.
Your brain beat me.
Why is it okay for everyone to make fun of people who are bald?
Just because you're bald doesn't mean you can take it out on other people.
You're bald.
You say the toupee business is booming.
Google Jamie Foxx toupee.
Dom Capers.
Bald people. I'm sorry, Sass.
I was just looking at Bill Self and Carl Ravitch.
Okay, are you guys ready? Because this is very exciting. This would have been the top 10 if he respected anything.
Is this our third time doing 18 and 17?
Yes. We've done it a number of different times.
This is the real one.
These used to be in the top 10, and now everything's moved back, and it might still not be 18. This might, keep in mind, this might be in the 30s by the time that we're done. Because he
70 is absolutely the ceiling unless it goes to 75. That would be the absolute ceiling. But right now, it's a top 70 catchphrase countdown.
What are you shaking your head about, Zaz?
I feel like we've been inside the top 20 for months.
That's the beauty of this.
I thought we were going to be into the top 10 by now. I think we're further back than we were. I thought we were closer than 18 and 17 a while back. I thought we've already done 18 and 17 a couple of different times.
Yeah, once. And now, number 18. Put a Lobo's mint under your pillow and dream big.
Wow. A classic.
He's winded. He's
I'm a little
amazing. He
winded.
does these very well. You will hear nothing in the way of criticism from me on how well you do these.
Thank you.
This list is extraordinary. When number 58 is Who Maketh the Salad.
Yeah, who made it a salad? Past tense. Number 17. What'd he say? Thank you.
Wait a minute. That's Jazz's.
I know.
What'd he say?
That belongs to Zaz.
No,
How-
Greg's right.
No.
That's.
I've been saying that for years. What'd he say? But you got to say it like that.
But that's how Zaz says it.
What do you?
Yo.
Wait a minute. Say it.
Oh, Zaz doesn't say it that way.
That is how Zaz says
I've
it.
never heard Zaz say
Me
that.
Well, say it.
No, I'm not your monkey.
Oh,
Everybody
so
just
so
everybody
it's not
just knows.
your phrase.
No, I'll say it when I want to say it.
Hey,
Everybody
monkey.
knows. Everyone. That's what I say.
Say it then.
That is such bullshit.
Do you guys hear what Pat Riley said?
What do you say? That's my phrase.
Hey,
I've
stop
been
stealing
saying that for
Greg's.
years.
Stop stealing Greg's catchphrase.
No, that was entirely
Seriously.
different.
You're effing with me now, right? You're
No.
effing with me.
I've heard Greg say that countless times.
Because I'm going to be honest with you. The other one that you stole of mine, which was what? That was.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh, he didn't steal that from me.
Right. Like, that's bullshit enough. All right. But I honestly, I don't believe that you actually knew that I said that, even though everyone knows that's what I'm talking about. That's one of my go-to phrases.
Hey, that's what
Fine.
I'm talking about.
Fine, you complete ignorance on that. Whatever. Okay, it's still stupid. But this time, there's no way.
What do you say?
Stop saying that. There's no way.
Amin has sent us what he is alleging is his arm still not going down. He is holding his arm over his head. Juju, how long do you believe that you could successfully hold both of your arms over your head? Do you think you can do so for the entirety of this segment?
Absolutely. That's not necessarily hard for the kid, but salute. I mean, if you want me to do it, I can do it. You dig?
Sure. Let's try it. This is not likely to last as long as I did it for, which is slightly longer than Amin did it for, and Amin is still doing it. But I believe
Noticing a pattern.
your shoulders will get tired over the course of us doing
Even
this.
I think these optics are bad.
I'm going to try and do it as well throughout the entirety of this
That's a little
segment
bit
here.
Lead from the front.
Why did Juju put down his arms? Juju just put down his arms because of optics
heard
that
a
I
voice of
wasn't
reason.
thinking about.
When I'm the voice of reason.
I enjoyed this weekend. Before we get to the polls and before we get to Juju's subject matter, I did enjoy this weekend that it appears that I was not wrong all of these times. I was just early on being fooled by the internet, because it seems that everybody this weekend was fooled by a video that is how many years old, Mike?
10 years old. Fines for the entirety of the internet content creators. Did our show fall for this as well? There was a very dramatic fight between Cole Custer and John Hunter Nemechek, two Cup Series drivers. NASCAR was off this week. There was no race. So I wasn't watching NASCAR in 2016, so it was new to me too. But I also realized, wait a second, that's not Cup Series driving, that's Truck Series. We're off this week. What's going on here? Yeah, there was a very dramatic fight. Do we have video from 2016? John Hunter Nemechek and Cole Custer getting into it, and he basically edge spears him. Like a spear out of nowhere, and everyone fell for it. So fine across the internet.
In our defense, this video, not AI, real, just 10 years old.
Also, in our defense, this video, not ready. So that panic that Dan was talking about when he lost his dog, you feel it right now.
Well, what was funny about that is the fact that instead of the video that you requested, what I saw the video team call up was the video of my dog in the elevator instead of the 10-year-old video of so who got fooled by it? Who got fooled by it?
Everybody. Pat McAfee, all the sports aggregators. Look, it's a doldrum right now going on in sports. I think
something.
Yeah, look, people fighting. We like that. This is a race. It was a great fiery end to a race. They were like colliding across the finish line, and then they took it into their hands afterwards and fought. But yeah, 10 years old.
Just
that video.
celebrating the 10-year anniversary.
Yeah, not something that happened last year or maybe 4 years ago. Maybe this happened during COVID. No, this was 2016.
This arm over the head thing is harder than people think. Like, Juju, you're not suffering this at all. This is easy for you.
It's not necessarily easy because I do have two 25-inch pythons strapped to my arm, so it's a bit heavy. But I'm getting through it. I didn't know we was going to be talking about all this. I thought we was going to go through my segment. That rearranged the time in my head, though.
I made it longer just to make you suffer a little bit more and to just have us both sink into the terrible optics of this. What do you have for us today before we get to the polls?
Brother, I'm so hurt a little bit that your brain even allows you to place a sentient millimeter of blame on the brother that was on the elevator with your dog, man. Like, this is a true America situation, I think. Because one thing about us black folks, what we gonna do, we gonna mind our damn business, man. Like, we get on the elevator, it's a strange random dog. Hey, man, I don't know what this dog got going on. All I know is I'm in Miami and fine shit is at the bar already waiting on me. They keep texting me. I'm late as hell. Salute to you, Fido, but I got to go. You ain't none of my damn business. Where the hell is your owners at? Please, to place blame on this brother is a shame.
My objection is not the blaming of him in the elevator. It's that you got into the lobby and then let him out into the street. It's not, my objection is not here, although I am surprised by how relaxed he is and how relaxed the dog is.
Would
there.
you have been fine if he stopped the dog from exiting the elevator? This is where I found you. I'm going to let the door shut. You just stay where you were.
My objection is just that what I'm telling you is there's no way for the dog to get out of the lobby unless a human being lets him out of the lobby, and he shouldn't have let him out into the street. The street has traffic in it. All you've got to do is close the door behind you and make sure the dog stays inside. That's the only blame I have for that guy, and I'm still bothered by it in a way you can hear in my throat.
But look, he's just on the elevator. He get on the elevator like, look, man, here go a dog. He done got on the elevator. Hey, after you, sir. Like, all he doing is what's regular in this moment. Why is this damn dog on the elevator and living his life so casually? It seems as though he deserves to get a little fresh walk, you know, and it's not my fault for giving my boy one.
I would have been so heartbroken coming in here today if I had not been able to find my dog for 3 days because of what you guys know now about abductions.
First 24 hours is the most important.
You would have had me running around the beach today early.
Joe Mantegna, Criminal Minds.
At Le Batard Show, it seems like we've got a lot of polls, and I need to let you put your arms down. My shoulders though are now burning. This is not an easy thing to do. What do you guys think is the average that we would assign in minutes to the amount of time the average human being?
I don't know,
can
but whatever
hold
it
the
was,
hands?
you tripled it.
Thank you.
You're so strong.
I know. I'm going to now, with my victory, I'm going to put my arms down slightly longer than Amin. I did it for just a few more seconds than Amin did. At Le Batard Show on the polls, what do we have, Juju?
Do young people have any use for baseball on the radio? 70% of the audience says no, they don't.
Shocking opinions.
Is it hard to type when you're up in arms? 95% of the audience says yes, it is.
Unexpected answer.
Has instant replay diluted the joy of seeing a manager ejected? 92% of the audience says yes, it has.
You know about those answers.
Did you know that the Nationals have the best offense in baseball? 82% of the audience says no, they did not.
Shocking revelation.
Can you hold your arms up in the air for over or under 8 minutes? 72% of the audience says under 8 minutes.
You know about those revelations.
Do you think it's possible to hold your arms over your head for 24 hours? 86% of the audience says, no, it is not.
I can't believe he said that.
Should you grab the community sausage with your 2 fingers and not the tongs when they're right there? 63% of the audience says no.
What'd he say?
Chris, y'all boys is disgusting, man. I'm not even going to touch on it because you my friend, so I'm not going to pile on. But my brother, can a 35-year-old quarterback who's still in the league pass a field sobriety test while sober? 59% of the audience says no, they cannot. Are you disgusted by someone who touches the communal microwave with their wet sausage fingers?
Should be 50-50. What do we got here?
86% of the audience says yes, and 12% of the audience is disgusting.
I think 14%.
More corrupt.
I think your math is a little off there.
More corrupt mafioso by name alone. Gianni Infantino or Timofey Mozgov. 85% of the audience says Gianni Infantino. And last poll. Does Batman take out the common criminal with a zeal that makes you question him? 85% of the audience says yes, and those are your polls.
I love a wet sausage.
Folks, listen up. This episode is brought to you by our partners at DraftKings. If you're already a DraftKings customer, guess what? You can now order lottery tickets right from the DraftKings Sports and Casino app. All you have to do is find the lottery tab, and with a few clicks, you can have a shot at millions. I'm talking Powerball, Mega Millions, and all your favorite lottery games right in the DK Sports and Casino app. New lottery customers get $10 in lottery credits instantly when you deposit $5 on the DraftKings Sports and Casino app. DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Thank you. Good night, everybody.